murder me, but never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Wanna murder me, but never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Black excellence at its finest. Yeah, using big words, but he can't define it. Then it hit him with the cannon, don't you stand behind him. It's about to get hot, while you change the climate. He's nothing but a novice and he show his heart. Man, I think this rookie's done, sticking with a fork. Yeah, he treading water, swimming with the sharks. You will never see the light, living in the dark. The only thing he study is this information. Till I show him all his flaws and his calculation. Gotta leave his dummy dead as a demonstration. So I hit him with the case with no hesitation. It's a wealth of knowledge you ain't never seen. Chop his body up and weigh the dead on a triple beam. Got this bully on my phone and he keep calling me. Need me to come and pick him up from another murder scene. And he's telling me, I don't know why they keep invading me. I said we just don't keep kicking their ass into reality. Shoot the 7,000 said they want a war, but they should have already known that they were looking for. Wanna murder me, but never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar.
Universal thoughts in the building. Chief Cantar, DJ Luz, Lord Melchizedek, Jeremiah Judah, Queen Karima, Lion's Den. One life to live, never slip away. One life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying. One life to live, never slip away. One life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying. Carry streets burn in flames, youths die young with no name. Parents put away in cages, being watched by dogs and evil mice. Holding gauges for children's rages. Drugs got the brain fried like raisins, leaving hoary hairs with the blame. Ashamed that the revolution was in vain. Integrationist raised Cain. DHS take away our babies. Cops shoot Judah in the back, leaving blood stains. Deuteronomy 28. In the land that is strange, they took our turban ordinance rights away and came in. Keys or vagabonds get bombed for throwing lots at Yasha Allah. Now Palestine throw rocks at imposters that claim Abba Nawa as their father. Falsifying icons during the Renaissance. Why the 12 tribes got sold, still in the blood and Da Vinci Code. Just as if the world's cold. Y'all only knows if I rule the world like Curtis Blow. With the doves cry as we grow, little ones lose focus, holding choppers for show. Hey, one life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying. One life to live, never slip away. One life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying. Count ones to hundreds. Jolly Greeks fell like trees in the 80s. Born in crack baby epidemics of the day. Streets old, get your slave on crates. Lost faith of the most high. Getting high off the own supply, that was fate. They used to be Goldie Superfly, now young bucks despise. Old owls is wise. Shootouts and duct tape in Philly cold houses. Knocking off stove tops. Bodies drop, mortals on stock like Pete Rock. And start rocking. Jeff and Scotland rock the Tupac. Didn't stop gunshots. Up and down my block, reminiscing. My mind wants to let go. Listening the fresco, let's go. Rest in peace, Rob, Chucky Ball, Sexo, Chicano Willie, and Little Sexo. And to my man Stu, who put the blaster tool to his chew and banged out his noodles. The bullet exit wounds, we consume ghetto sense from the womb. Mobbing deep and murder music, mortal sleep, best cocoons, and tunes for new souls to rule. Being slipped to Mickey from Vicky in your cooler. Legends get slaughtered, North Philly bravehearts is up in the water. Tasting flesh from the school kill, bodies buried on Hornet Hill. Single minds pop, Sandy pills, feeling chill. Death of their baby fathers on the corner, slipping during the dying is keeping it real, but for real, Israel. never slip away. One life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying. One life to live, never slip away. One life to live, never do a bid. One life to live, with banger spraying. One life to live, in the grave laying.
To the mighty Hebrew over in East Africa, Tanzania, War Cloud. Go check them out. You know what I'm saying? Peace and blessings. My name is JJ7000, the most feared debater on this planet. Sit your ass down. Because I know you can't stand it. Peace to my queen, my wife, my forever, Jenny Hayes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Lions Den, Sister Karima, Apostles of Klein, Black Jesus Minister, Ball and Crawling, Neil Love, and the rest of the goddamn team. You know what I'm saying, man? Y'all see the goddamn title, man. Hold up for a minute, man. Shh. Oh, what? Yeah, we ain't got time for that right now. But anyway, man, welcome to the goddamn on JJ7K TV, JJ7K TV. You know what I'm saying? Lions in the building. Shout out to JG. You know, Keon peeking around. I see you, brother. Marquise. Peace and blessings, man. Yeah, y'all see the title, man. You know, I've been beating these guys up for years, you know. Cedric Ortega, man, has been found guilty of scientific fraud. You hear me? He's fraudulent. You see? He's fraudulent, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why he's trying to get in front of us, with, you know, in front of these good people with this nonsense. I don't know what's wrong with him. He gonna learn today. Ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, this guy he been my punching bag for a long time, man. He just gonna have to keep learning and learning and learning. I knock you down. The best thing to do is just get back up and try better. Try harder next time. The gig is up. You are not. If you are a biologist, you got to be the worst one in history. You got to be the worst one, man, because you don't seem to understand that DNA similarity to chimps is misleading. You see, you don't understand direct and indirect scientific evidence. See, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to have my guys explain it to you today, sir. What he failed to tell y'all is that evolution can't be observed or tested directly. You see? Another problem that these guys do, they prioritize weak evidence over strong evidence, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to tell you the mutation limitations of evolutionary boundaries. He's not going to tell you about genetic gaps in human and in chimp comparisons. You hear me, y'all? See, this guy right here, man, he come up here and try to use all these big words and make you think what he know what he's talking about. He don't know nothing. He know not what he say. He know not what he do. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. The limits of observable change. How about this speciation? See, they want to see that speciation occurs by splits of one species into another to turn into another. That hasn't been proven, sir. Yeah, man. So what we're going to do, man, we're going to get into a little bit of left where we left off last time. And then I probably show, a couple of articles debunking this guy, a couple of my scholars, Dr. Turk, some of the top guys in the field are debunking this nonsense. You hear me? Yeah, man. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. That's what we're gonna do. I don't know why he come over here with this nonsense. This is why he ran from the debate. You cannot prove that non-living matter can create life. There is no absolutes. They're still trying to figure it out. And you know this, sir. So let's get into it, man. Hold on. Let me see. Where we at here? And then I'll show you a couple of rounds of me beating him up in another debate. He's my punching bag. Let's see. Is this the right one? Hold on. Hold up, wrong one, y'all. Hold up. That's around Jenny Hayes. I picked the wrong one. Picked the wrong screens. He over here distracted me. Yeah. All right. So, where's that? Let's see. Where's that? Is this it? No, that ain't it. Hold up. Here it is. Wait. No, that ain't it neither. Hold up. I need the one. Oh, come on, man. I just had it. Let me see. Hold up, y'all. This ain't it either. Ain't it? Hold up, y'all. Let me get my act in order here. Here it is right here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Hold up. They're crashing out. Let's see this. Hold on. I found it. Wait a minute. Save Taylor. Come on, man. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's the one right there. All right. Here it is. This is him crashing out, running. We got. Oh, here it is. This is him crashing out, y'all. His excuse for running from the debate. Shout out to Apollo Bay, Ray Mary in the building, Marquise. People be having medical degrees from other countries, and when they get to Europe, they become janitors. Cab drivers. Yeah, man. Barbarians in the building. Yeah, man. This guy right here is first class joke. Talking about he a goddamn biologist. The worst one in history, y'all. The worst one in history. You hear me? Hold on. Look at this guy. So to get out, see, he made all the noise and ruckus in the back chat. Talking about, yeah, set the debate up. So I said, we're going to do a preliminary. We'll go over here. And he got mad because I added, concerned that I added math into the title. That is mathematically impossible for non-living matter to create life. And he got mad about that. Crying. All right, let's look at this guy, man. He's done.
Why did you
this way right on the stage, huh? Everybody, and try to use words and make yourself sound more intelligent when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get in here and prove that non-living matter can create life. And you can't. Are you?
All right. Hey, yo, who made Cedric run?
I did.
Somebody told me Apostle did.
He already ran. Argue that ran off the goddamn stage. Is considered by some to be
in your vessels, because in every have not learned anything was law in the world.
Electromagnetism being
from that's required.
Let me show you that part.
Inside of one.
I think you got to do your own self.
Reduction and oxidation will oppose the work, and they come.
Hold up.
60s.
But he be attentive.
you can't do no saying.
Oh, he thinks that saying thing that we're missing. Not JJ. My.
Man. Look at that. Crash out says, guys. Watch this. After I showed him, after I showed him all these sources and stuff, he had to think of an escape route. So he blamed Apostle for asking him a question. So he run out the building. Here you go. Look, Hugh Henry. I got PhDs up here from Princeton. Daniel Dyke. You see what I'm saying? Here goes your end notes. But what I'm saying, sir, I got so much more information to blow your goddamn coconut back. You hear me? In the Bahamas, Negro. We split you open and make you a pinata. Let's keep going.
So you have no actual information. Like I told you, what JJ was going to do.
No, that's it. We open up the phone.
Bring you information that is going to try and undermine the scientific consensus. I brought you a PubMed article. He brings you a Discovery Institute, right? He presented no data no way in which we are studying the process. What he did was a whole breakdown of begging the question.
Okay, we got to open up the panel now, Cedric.
Open it.
All right. Who was here first? Was it Inky or Apostle? It was Apostle. Apostle, what's your questions, brother?
Talking to JJ.
I got questions, but I got a statement real quick before my question.
Go ahead.
The statement is to Cedric.
Oh,
because he seemed to not understand.
Uh-oh. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Radio stop. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, y'all. Yeah, this guy's a track star.
First of all, he must not understand what sources is about. Sources is about peer review, articles, who wrote the article, when was it published, what's the title of the article, where I can find the article. All of that is about sourcing, not just putting something up and reading it.
that is correct, Apostle.
That's what sourcing is. If I don't know where you got it from, how can I check to see if what you are reading is reputable? At least JJ did show the author. Now, don't come up here trying to pull our legs like we don't know nothing about sourcing. Because anybody with a college degree know in order for you to have it, you had to do sourcing.
I agree. Yes. Okay. Now ask it.
He ain't done, bro. He ain't done. You went on for 15 minutes. Let him go.
Okay, I'm not having a discussion with these
Be
people.
quiet.
I'm gonna jump off. I made my point. I'm gonna leave. Because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
That's not a question.
There you go, y'all.
That was a statement. If you want to go, because you can't.
Ran out the building, y'all. I told you. I mean, this is embarrassing. Get up here with this now you ready to run.
Can't stand the heat. Get the hell out.
Can't stand the heat.
Going back over there with
Shine Unk penny loafers.
With Garfield now and on. Going back over there. Because we don't need to hear it over here.
Okay. There you go. It's documented on record. There you go, y'all. Y'all see him running out the goddamn building. He can't stand the heat. He couldn't stand it. He can't stand the line of questioning, ladies and gentlemen. Then when he come back, he bring Unc West with him and Morpheus. He had to get bag up.
He knew I was going to run him off the block.
All right, let me see. Now let's get back to. Hold up. I just want to show you that part before I show you.
What electromagnetic?
You got your own. You see what I'm saying?
No, so that's
so beautiful. Opens up what life looks like when
you went on for 30 minutes.
And how some old textbook ancestors
mechanisms. Just for the people who
blood made a hemoglobin with. Okay, go ahead.
You rocking out, but let me jump in so I can hit Cedric. Then you come back in and teach. All right, I'm enjoying it. He left. All right. Well, hey, brother, you got you're more than welcome to come back. But see, brother Elder Selton and Elder Apostle, abiogenesis, just for the people who haven't really done the research, I want to explain it to y'all. Because abiogenesis is the theory that life emerged from non-living matter through natural chemical reactions. It's been an ongoing debate with scientists. And some argue that abiogenesis is a plausible explanation for the origin of life on Earth. But here's a summary of some of the key arguments against abiogenesis that I would like. This is what I want Cedric to address: the complexity of life, One of the primary challenges to abiogenesis is the complexity of life itself. Living organisms are composed of intricate systems and structures that work together to maintain life. The probability, Cedric, of such complex systems emerging through random chemical reactions is considered by some to be extremely low. You have to get up here and say, well, no, here's our research. We show that it's extremely high. This really happened. You know, we keep it simple, bro. How about the lack of plausible mechanisms? Despite numerous attempts to propose mechanisms for abiogenesis, there is still no widely accepted explanation on how life could have emerged from non-living matter. Many proposed mechanisms have been shown to be flawed or incomplete. She said these are the simple questions that we ask. We don't have to we don't have to have a degree to ask questions about information that seems to be sketchy.
Right.
Seems to be not backed by scientific or empirical evidence. These are nothing but theories and hypotheses. And then when next week, well, we figure something else over here. So this one wrong from last week, and 2 weeks later they come up with something else. That's instability. But you're putting all your eggs in one basket on this type of theories. So like I say, the lack of plausible mechanicisms. Many proposed mechanisms have been shown to be flawed or incomplete, like I said. And then, like I said, the field is still searching for a coherent and plausible explanation. They're still searching for it, Elder Apostle, Elder Santan.
Yeah.
They're still searching.
Right.
Let me give you a couple more. Probability and statistics. The calculations of the probability of abiogenesis often yield extremely low numbers. Non-living matter can produce life. How did that happen? You got to prove that. You said you can prove it, sir. Why? Like somebody said earlier, why is it still happening? Where?
Right.
There should be some new kind of creatures and species coming about on the planet every day. Y'all can't even recreate the early Earth conditions because it wasn't the same as what we live in today. And this is their problem with the theory.
Right.
See, so while some argue that some scientists argue that the vastness of the universe and the number of potential opportunities for life emerge make abiogenesis more plausible, others argue that the probability remains vastly small. How about this part? What about this? Origins of genetic information. The origin of genetic information is a critical challenge for abiogenesis. The genetic code is a complex system that allows for the storage and transmission of information, ladies and gentlemen. And it's unclear how a system could have emerged through random chemical reactions. Look at that. You see? How about this? The role of RNA, Cedric. Yeah, I know you ran. Yeah, you ran about the building, bro. Look at that. The RNA role hypothesis proposed that RNA molecules played a central role in the emergence of life. However, Cedric, RNA is a complex molecule that is difficult. It's unclear. You got to sympathize, and stabilize it. See, y'all can't do that. And it's unclear how RNA could have emerged and persisted in a prebiotic environment. These are the questions that you need to come out here. Wait a minute, JJ, we got the test right here to show that you was wrong. Then another thing, you have lack of evidence. Well, there's evidence for the existence of life on Earth. There is limited evidence for the specific mechanics of abiogenesis. Many of the experiments and simulations that attempt to demonstrate abiogenesis rely on assumptions. They rely on assumptions. They can't. You hear what I just said? And simple conditions of the early Earth. So, like I said, man, I got like 30 or 40 bullet points I can hit you upside the head that we want you to come in here and say, oh, wait, well, no, we figured this out. We figured this out, and we figured this out. And you have failed to do that. You ran out the building. You want to overtalk everybody. We listen to you, but you want to just overtalk everybody and try to use words and make yourself sound more intelligent when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get in here and prove that non-living matter can create life. And you can't. Are you?
All right. Hey, yo, who made Cedric run? Somebody told me Apostle did.
He's already getting beat up by me. He's already getting beat up. But you know, it's bad when they got to ask who made him run. I made him run. Apostle made him run. Suntan made him run. God dang it. And that's just what it is. You're running from the elders. You're running from the elders. I might have to form a team, me, Suntan, and Apostle.
What debate I want to see that would be fire. And Apostle is scared. He's scared.
Okay,
I'm not scared.
I would like to see Apostle.
I would like to see that debate, Elder. Elder Suntan and Apostle. We're going to skip past these theatrics and get back to the beat. He ran and he come back. Oh, here you go. Look. You're going to crash out again, y'all. Then I'm going to show you how I beat breaks off.
And when I'm using words like metabolism, they doesn't seem to understand.
Yes, it do.
Don't let him do it to you, Apostle. He trying to.
I know. I'm not paying him no mind.
Y'all scared of the top debates. I think that'll be a fire, powerful debate.
What Twilight Zone said, Apostle Rand said out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was seeing other people saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Apostle was talking the truth, and he didn't really want to hear it. You know,
he didn't want to hear the truth about sources. He didn't want to hear the truth about JJ bringing sources. At least JJ bringing authors. He didn't want to hear that. So what did he do, ladies and gentlemen? He ran his mouth, and then he ran them hard-ass coconut eating ass feet. That's what he did. That's what he did. That's my head, Bob. How come we'll never see you in the lab, nigga? All we see is you with that damn bird and parrot. That's it. In some hotel you work at, cleaning shirts.
I'm just saying he wanted to talk.
He was talking about he was presenting sources, and he ain't present one.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, y'all. Look, he didn't ran and then he came back. He didn't got him a lifeline. This guy's no match for me.
Please. I'll have a discussion with JJ, but I'm not going to sit up here and deal with ad harming me because I
ain't crying. All the ad homs he just said. Let me call this guy, man. This guy ducking in the bushes. We know you watching. Hold up, man. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. I told him, man, hey, you ain't in my league of debates. Put you in the junior league, you know. Hey, I'll put you in the junior league, son. Where this guy at? What's his name? Cedric. Look at him, y'all. Watch it. Look up. But he ain't answer. I ain't put it on speaker. He hiding, y'all. You know what it is. Damn, man, you need to do some. You need to put you some brown lipstick on or something, man. The heart covered all this pink. You got a half a brown lip. You got a half a brown lip. Look, baby. Look at this guy. Come on, man. Look at yeah. Look like you've been sucking on. Look like you've been sucking on mufflers.
Ignorant old ass, and that won't be cool. So don't engage with me, Apostle, because I'm not going to be nice to you. So please let me and JJ do our thing, and you just stand down. Like no. Like,
he asked you a question.
No, I'm not doing this with you. And again, you see why we're dealing with flim flam. Why would I debate abiogenesis when I know that it is a hypothesis within the origins of life research? I understand the limitations.
Now ain't succeeding, y'all. You better, but no, in the back chat, you said you could prove it. Now you up here succeed, y'all. I think it's conceding. Like, you know how, I give the presidency. You know, after they lose in the votes, that the president lose to a new guy. Yeah, I concede the presidency. You know, some shit like that. Look at this guy.
And I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Look, there's Crash Out. Watch it.
I know where the work is today.
Now keep in mind, you can't. If you ran off, you came back in. You didn't wait your turn in order to speak. You interrupted the apostle when he was speaking. So he gonna ask you a question. Watch this guy. Watch.
He doesn't seem to understand. I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not address.
What is that?
Why?
It is a hypothesis within the origins of life research. I understand the limitations, and I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not provide you with an. Doesn't seem this work be that it is a hypothesis within the origins of life research. I understand the limitations, and I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not address me.
Why?
His bio.
Oh, my fault.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Probably niggas speak another language.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
What did you do? Cedric, what did you do?
A powerful debate.
I mean, what is that? Let's get to my one part, man. He just running his mouth. Look.
Explain to anyone how we come to those mathematical probabilities, JJ. And the last point, do not let Enki fool y'all that in our cells, ATP, the cell generating energy, is a nuclear reaction. It is an ionization reaction. The transfer of ions forces energy to come free, right? It's an ion reaction. It is not a nuclear synthesis happening in your body as if the atoms in your body are splitting. Like, come on, man.
All right.
I'd rather have a discussion.
All right. No. All right. We're going to set up the date.
Y'all just
set up the date. All right. I hear me.
Acknowledge for the people.
He steady want to keep talking. Set the date up, chump.
That life, the study of life, is the study or the engagement with biochemistry. Biochemistry is chemical interaction. Those chemicals are built on the elementary chart, and that is not alive, KJ. There's no hydrogen element that is alive. There is no water molecule that is alive. Water is formed by 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, and that formation is forced.
I want you to prove how it all came together. Prove it. Water, minerals, hydrogen, DNA. I mean, all that came together spontaneously out the blue and just start working together. You got to show that, sir.
By the 4 fundamental forces. It is not random.
Okay, you done. Thank you. Don't you say a goddamn word. When you say a word, you done.
Answer my question, JJ. I'm asking you a question.
You done. I'm getting ready to answer it. Yeah, my cousin, I really don't want to debate you, JJ.
Is H2O alive? Answer the question. Is water alive?
Shut up.
All right, Mandinka, here's your question. Mandinka, do you know his question that he asking you?
Yes. Okay. Well, what he did was just flim flam and ran the whole.
No. Do you know the question that he asked you?
He didn't ask a question.
JJ, is H2O alive?
Is H2O alive? He said.
Okay. I got that right here. Let me show you.
Yes or no, JJ?
No, it's not. Let me show you. No, it's not. But watch this. Now, I answered your question. Now, you be quiet. I want you to show us right now your source proving that non-living matter can produce life. Anything else is uncivilized. Anything else? No.
It's called biochemistry.
You see how
it's a discipline. Have you been to school? It's the work I do. That's the work I do. That's the proof.
Cedric, you gotta let him go, brother.
Yeah.
We allowed you to go. Let him
That's
speak.
why he's not welcome in America. He can't even get a passport over here, you goddamn island monkey. Now I'm sick of your disrespect. You sit your coconut eating ass down somewhere when I'm trying to ask you a question. Now your slow ass said that you can prove.
All right. Y'all got to calm down with that.
I was being patient the whole time, and he kept being disrespectful.
Yeah. Let him get it out.
Shut up, then.
He put it upside the head.
Coconut goddamn eating ass lip, nigga. Be quiet. Them hard ass coconut ass feet over there.
All right, come on, man.
I try to be nice. I try to be civil, but for some reason he think he earned enough goddamn respect or around here where he could just interrupt people. The last debate I was in, I beat the brakes off of you. We can show that tomorrow. Everybody over here said you got slapped around. Talking about Christopher Columbus came to the Americans before Africans. You ain't nothing but a Eurocentric fool. And this nonsense that you pushing right now, you got the burden of proof is on you. I don't care about all them little technical words you're trying to use. You better be coming in here showing us the processes of how non-living matter created life. That is not absolute. That is so many flaws. You're not going to address anything that I presented. You're going to flim-flam around and try to attack sources that you have no understanding of. Even in your own source that you read, because I wrote it down, it said problematic. They can't reproduce the original conditions of early life. Let's start there. Show us how they can do that. You can't. Don't even try to answer so we can listen to another 15-minute rant of nothingness. Like I say, I set this debate up in 2 weeks. The title says she don't like the mathematical improbability of life emerging from non-living matter. That's too technical for him. We can simplify it. Cedric Ortega can prove that non-living matter produce life. We'll keep it simple. In 2 weeks.
All right, Mandinka. Cedric, will you entertain the debate with JJ in 2 weeks?
First of all, let's clarify what we're discussing.
Go ahead.
The hypothesis of age-up biogenesis is a hypothesis. It is not a theory. What are we debating? The point I made, and JJ is going to prove us right now, tonight, that biochemistry is living matter. That chemistry is living matter. Because if he doesn't understand that life is built out of non-life, if he doesn't understand that, if I need to present him a source for discipline, that is ridiculous.
No. So he's scared to exchange sources for each round. You see how scared I got him looking, y'all? Look at him. That nigga scared straight. Look at him. This is the face of a scared man. This is Walking Dead.
It's taught in universities all over the world. It is what we use in the laboratories. Biochemistry, because we understand the nature of life. What is he talking about? What are you wanting to debate, JJ? Prove to the people right now
life can't
clarify the topic for you again.
H2O is alive.
Nope. I said mathematical. No, dumbass keep asking the stupid ass question.
JJ, I'm asking you a simple question.
Your stupid ass.
JJ, I know you're losing your mind. JJ, the conversation we were having was a simple.
Mandinka, you gotta chill. You gotta chill with the profanity, Mandinka. Come on, man. Come on, let him finish. Now, come on, man. We got to move forward because I'm gonna close, man. Hold on. Reverend Armin Rob McCarthy want to know, Cedric, why are you so mad? What have Apostle done to you to get you like that, brother?
It doesn't have anything to do with being mad. I choose to engage with who I think I want to engage with. I watch Apostle. Apostle has no idea what he's talking about. He's going to call me out of my name, ad hom, do all of that, and he cannot handle the pressure back. And fundamentally, he has no input in the conversation.
Let him finish. I'll let you respond.
So JJ, do us a favor. Explain to the people how chemistry is life. And how these components are alive, JJ. That's the question here. Because biochemistry is the study of chemistry. Biology is complex chemistry. Now I'm going to say it again. Biology is complex chemistry. Life emerges from chemical interaction.
All right. Let's
I got you. So he's saying chemical reaction alone created life. This is what you're saying? This is what you're saying, sir? Because the whole argument in the back chat was you said that I got the screenshots. Did you not say that? So we're gonna keep now I'm gonna explain the topic to you one more time. The mathematical improbability of life emerging from non-life matter is impossible. You scared of that title. So now I'm gonna give it to you simple. So people can understand. Ain't no you go ask. I asked you this before. I said this is the title. You said you would accept it, and now he want to get in front of here and try to talk about some biochemistry is the origins of life or whatever. I ain't never challenged no source for biochemistry. I said, what scholar was you using? What scientist was you using? That's crazy work for you to get up here and lie. Now you know you're gonna get beat up.
You a liar. Now I'm gonna go off on your bitch ass. Now I'm going
to go. Look, so now he didn't call me out my name. You know why? Because this is his way out. This is the fakest biologist on the planet, y'all. We never see him in the lab. Where's your peer review articles since she knows so much? Where's your papers? Huh? Show us some of your experiments. All we see you with that goddamn bird and dog walking around. Nigga.
No.
The building again. Look, he done ran out the goddamn building again. That's twice.
Both of y'all got to go. Both of y'all, man.
You know what, man? Come on. Hey, come on. Morpheus and all this million questions.
All right. First of all, we got to make sure that you're going to take on this debate. Yourself. You got the floor, Morpheus.
Hold up.
Don't create life by itself, but you need water for life to be created.
Why would I entertain a conversation with this man when he is saying things that never came out of my mouth? Why would I talk to this man when he is saying things that never came out of my mouth? You see the reason why I do not want to engage with these disingenuous people?
Nothing. You said life came from nothing.
Did I say life came from nothing? I said non-living elements.
That's the same thing.
Same damn thing, you idiot.
Calm down, brother.
Different discussions. And I do not.
Everybody stop. Let me bring in Morpheus real quick so he can.
But let me just set my time and date before we got to go listen to Morpheus and all this million questions.
All right. First of all, we got to make sure that you're going to take on this debate.
Yeah, because
I don't want to be wasting my time.
Yeah, we wasting our time. Now you're going to prove exactly like you said. I told you. There it is, y'all. The face of a running man.
Can so you get it? You heard it, Todd. Waste of time. You see why it's a waste of time.
Okay, so he's not going to debate you, Mandinka.
There you go. Y'all see this? I told you. Now let's skip. I can show y'all something else. I told you, man. This guy ain't get past the church part. Emerging through.
For the spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. None of you on this platform
teach
has the spirit of God. To be able to understand. That's why you argue, you fuss, and you fight, but
You right with it.
Yeah, right. What you doing right now, right? You're arguing and you're fussing. You funny.
This book,
Man, you right
and you
with
will
it.
always fail.
Apostle coming out. Like, Apostle calling out, god dang old son. So I don't want to smoke with Apostle. All right, let's get past that. Oh, come on, man. Okay, hold up, bro. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all see, man, Cedric Hope, get the camera on me real quick. Cedric is all talk. Mm-hmm. You made the claim. Yeah. Twice ran out the building. Twice. Scared to take the title. It is mathematically impossible for non-living matter to create life. Come on, bro. What you scared of? That you can prove non-living matter can produce life. So I need to see you do that, because the probability of protein formations, you got to deal with that. And see, these estimates suggest that the probability of a single functioning protein emerging through random chance is extremely low, like I said in the beginning. 1 in 10 to the 16th to the or worse. Now that's at 164. How about genetic information? The probability of generating functional genomes through random processes is also considered to be extremely low. I got scholars that back this up. Cedric just running his mouth. And then in his article we read, you see he said problematic 4 times, dealing with his own issue.
Hey, JJ, and what Morpheus said was wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, he tried to do a leading question.
And atoms don't make up cells.
Right. You know, this
cells abide substance for molecules and atoms to exist. Cells provide structure so that atoms and molecules.
Apostle, let the man speak, bro. Mute your mic. Shut up.
No, you shut up, faggot nigga.
Man.
Yeah,
come on, men right now, man. Come on, Apostle.
You ain't got to do that.
You can't let nobody get to you like that, Apostle, man. And you're about to have a goddamn stroke, Apostle, up in here, man. That's the only reason why I'm falling back.
Listen, the problems of
that's the only reason why. Look at you. You just can't be quiet, man.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why I'm falling back. Because you really getting ready to have a stroke up in here, man.
Right.
I see the veins popping out your neck. I see you going crazy for something you never met, a God you never met, you never spoke to, nothing.
Oh, you don't know who I spoke to. Don't do that.
Come on,
you
man.
Don't know who I spoke to. I speak to him every day.
Right.
Do he speak back?
Sometimes.
That's metaphysics. That's metaphysics.
Come on, man. I don't do that on when y'all doing something, man. I think Apostle and Elder Santan should team up and go against Sarnetta. They both agreeing right here. You know, I get
go ahead, Mandinka, go ahead.
Yeah, so Cedric got the problem of probability. At the heart of the issue is the problem of probability. When Babylon Dunn came on here today, he said this title is capped because they're not talking about mathematical calculation, the mathematical and probability of life emerges from non-living matter. You got to go back to the beginning, sir. We dealt with this, and Cedric didn't want this topic. He's running from it. And like I say, the problem is that they're low numbers, suggesting that the emergence of life through random chemical reactions is highly unlikely. You got to prove that. You got to go against the goddamn science and the math. The probability of a single protein molecule forming through random chance is estimated to be around 1 in 10 times 164. This is a strong. This is very low, and it becomes even more improbable when considering the complexity of the entire organism, ladies and gentlemen. Cedric's not going to deal with this. That's why he's trying to take you off topic. How about biological systems and incredibly complex are incredibly complex with thousands of different molecules and systems working together at a highly organized manner, not just no random chance. The probability of such complex systems emerging through random chance is considered maybe virtually impossible. The human genome, for example, consists of approximately 3 billion base pairs. I said that earlier. Now, I also touched on the origin of genetic information, another challenge for abiogenesis. And the mathematical models. He got to deal with that. The role of selection and evolution. One potential, he got to deal with a lot. The primordial soup hypothesis. The primordial soup hypothesis proposed that life emerged in a mixture of organic compounds of the early Earth. However, hypothesis is not without its challenges. The concentration of organic compounds in the primordial soup is likely to have been very low, making it difficult. Could you mute your mic? Could you mute your mic, Cedric? Man, you're one of the most disrespectful guys I've met in a long time. I sit here and listen to you ramble and don't say a word. This knows that he can't deal with the information. He can't deal with being challenged. Learn from me. You see me in the beginning of when I first started off, I used to do the same thing you do. That was 8 years ago, sir. So your calculations and estimates of the probability of abiogenesis vary widely depending on the assumptions and the models used. But this is what you got to deal with. The protein folding, Cedric. I know you said you know about it. Estimates suggest that the probability of protein foldings into a specific structure is around 10 to the 65th. The genome emergence, the probability, this is going to bust you in your head, of a functional genome emerging through random chance, ladies and gentlemen, guess what is estimated at? To be around 1 in 10 times 150,000 power. The math model improbability of abiogenesis is a significant challenge to your theory, sir. This is why scientists continue to explore other possibilities. They do not have the answer. But you want to get in front of us, act like you got something that's absolute and nobody else knows? You have a lack of evidence. Well, there's evidence that for the existence of life on Earth, there is limited evidence for the specific mechanisms of abiogenesis. This is why he won't take this debate, because you're going to get slapped around. Many of the experiments and stimulations that attempted to demonstrate abiogenesis rely on, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Assumptions, like a Cedric do, and simplifications, simplifying things. You see? I'm going to read you one more thing, and I'm like you say, he don't want the debate. He already ran from it.
No, let me respond to you, JJ. You're doing a gish gallop, fundamentally flawed, and you expect.
I'm going to interrupt you through your whole thing. Put him in the back.
All right. Listen, don't ask me no questions about Nepal. If you don't want me to curse your ass out or block you, do not ask me no questions about Nepal. I don't ask you questions about your girlfriend or about your wife or about your woman. Don't ask me no fucking questions about Nepal if you don't want to get blocked. None of your goddamn business where she at. That's my answer to you.
Right. Watch this. This is what you got to deal with. You got to deal with the primordial soup hypothesis, which has flaws. You got to deal with the hydrothermal vent hypothesis, which can be debunked. You got to deal with the RNA world hypothesis. The primordial soup hypothesis suggesting life emerged from non-living matter through chemical reactions. But guess what? Here's the challenges, Cedric. You can run your mouth, but he ain't gonna deal with nothing I said. I want everybody to take your time to go home and watch this on y'all, without all the, the fanfare and all that. But Cedric do not answer questions. He has no discipline, and he's a poor researcher because chemical instability. Many organic compounds are unstable and degrade quickly, sir. This is your still got his mic on mute. Problem. How about the dilution?
Degrade quickly, sir.
I know you heard me. Dilution problem. Be quiet. Shut your lip. Shut your pink lip. You talk too much, man. The concentration of organic compounds might be too low to support your chemical reactions. You talking about chemical reactions? You got to prove that this can happen. How about the lack of the RNA stability? RNA is unstable and proved degradation. You see? So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. One of the primary challenges of abiogenesis is the complexity of life itself. Living organisms are composed of intricate systems and structures. I'm going to close out. 2 minutes or another. That work together to maintain life. The probability of such complex systems emerging through random chemical reaction is considered by some extremely low. The probability and statistics, calculations, they go to math of the probability of abiogenesis often yield extremely low numbers, suggesting that the emergence of life through random chemical reaction is highly unlikely. Then, like I said, we got to deal with the origins of genetic information. It's critical because the genetic code is a complex system. Cedric just wants to simplify it. He got to deal with the role of DNA. I mean, you got a lot to deal with, sir. And like I say, man, he got to deal with the probability approach. Shut your mouth. I'm almost done. Just the last paragraph, bro. Damn. The argument of abiogenesis is mathematically impossible. Let me end with this. Often destroying this guy. I told you he's not ready. He out west shoe shine boy. That's what he is. He out west shoe shine boy, y'all. Let's keep going. Around calculations of probability, particularly regarding the emergence of complex biological molecules and systems. The probability of protein formation estimates suggest that the probability of a single fundamental protein emerging through random chance is extremely low. Like I said, 1 in 10 to the 164th. I read y'all that. What I'm saying is it is really not enough time to go over this all at once. I would like to set the debate up. Cedric said that he can prove that non-living matter can produce life. That is abiogenesis, and we're showing you all the flaws. We're showing you that it's not absolute science. It's nothing but a hypothesis, a belief. He claims he don't believe in things. Yes, you believe in a hypothesis that's going to bury your ass under a thermocouple.
All right, Global Dictator, I got you, brother. Hey, Cedric responds, and then I'm getting out of here, man.
Okay, yeah, and nobody cut me off because now I'm going to deal with the highest level of ignorance.
All right. So y'all can see, ladies and gentlemen, this guy already ran. He don't want to smoke. Let me show you some other time where I slapped him around a couple rounds. Hold up. Let's see. All right, hold up. Hold up. This dude's my punching bag. He's my punching bag when it comes to. He know nothing about science. He been fake in the front. Okay. Let me show you what I did to him. Here we go.
Have been relied upon in fringe theories, from ancient astronaut theories to alternative historical claims. The tactic is employed by those who wish to present themselves as legitimate experts without actually providing legitimate evidence. By presenting fabricated sources, Mandinka Mali is exploiting a common logical fallacy, the appeal to authority. This fallacy occurs when someone cites the name of an authoritative figure or a seemingly legitimate source in order to make their argument appear credible. The hope that by listing names and titles that sound legitimate, the argument itself will seem valid. However, as we all know, authority in science isn't about naming famous people or prestigious title. Authority is about the strength of the evidence and the methodology behind the claims being made. In a genuine academic discourse, it is not the name of the researcher that matters, but the integrity of their research. their peer-reviewed publications, and the evidence that supports their conclusion. By relying on unverified sources and misusing scholarly names, Mandinka is attempting to manipulate the audience trust, assuming that most people won't investigate the authenticity of the references. But we know better. We understand that authority in science isn't about citing respected names, but about presenting rigorous, verifiable, and repeatable evidence. And without this, the argument falls.
4 minutes, Sam. 4 minutes. My apologies for missing that 5 minute mark.
Employing the authority fallacy can be seen across a wide range of pseudoscience. It is a tool to divert attention from the lack of actual proof, hoping to convince people to the superficial appearance of expertise. But as we've shown, when we dig deeper and examine the sources, we find that there is nothing but empty shell designed to mislead. At this point, JJ's argument is completely crumbled under the weight of reality. Round one, I've exposed the laughable claim that there's no evidence for Columbus' presence in the Americas, obliterating it with primary sources, historical consensus, and physical evidence. But rather than acknowledging his failure, what does he do? He pulled the classic Frost move by shifting the burden of proof and fabricating sources. Let's be absolutely clear. 7,000 is not just wrong, he's actively dishonest. He throws out made-up genetic evidence without a single verifiable study, expecting everyone to just take his word for it. But science doesn't work that way, JJ, and neither does history. If we had real genetic proof of pre-Columbian African presence in the Americas, it would be published in peer-reviewed journals, not in fringe blogs or cherry-picked pseudoscience. Where are these studies, JJ? Where's the verifiable evidence? Nowhere, because it doesn't exist. And let's talk about his outright fabrication of sources. This is what separates ignorance from intellectual fraud. He's not just misinformed. He's deliberately presenting false information. But I did. His sources are either non-existent, misrepresented, or outright distorted from real studies that do not support his claim. This is academic dishonesty at its finest. Shifting the burden of proof is the last refuge of a failed argument. He cannot prove his nonsense, so he demands I disprove instead. But that's not how logic works. If I claim aliens built a
2 minutes
to provide evidence, not demand everyone else prove me wrong. The same applies here, JJ. He made a claim. He has failed to substantiate it. So let's call it what it is. JJ 7000 is a fraud. His arguments are baseless. His sources are fake, and his understanding of both history and science is an embarrassment. At this point, his only option is to double down on the nonsense or to finally admit he's out of his depth. Either way, he's already lost. With that, I yield the floor.
All right, you got 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Are you sure you want to yield?
Yeah. Let's see how JJ climbs himself out of that hole. I yield my floor.
All right, and brother, I apologize for getting the 4 minute mark instead of the 5 minute mark.
I'm a professional.
My brother. Shout out to Cedric for a powerful opening round. Let me reset the timer. We're going to get ready for the legendary Mandinka Molly. Mandinka, time will start when you start. Let me know if you're sharing your screen. Shout out to Naga in the building. I see King Naga. I see Sekhmet. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Appreciate y'all's support. I see Sid and Mandinka bringing them out tonight. We got 63 people in the building. Shout out to my social media champ, Dr. The good Dr. Too Sweet in the building. I think I saw my world champ, the undefeated, undisputed, distinguished world champ Pandemus in the building. I see my brother Eric Graham in the building as well. Shout out to everybody.
Hey, we got everybody named Mama in the building tonight, man. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Get your pen and paper. We learning tonight.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to my brother Nobody from Trust and Believe the Gospel. Forget about my brother. Man, Dicker, let me know when you're sharing your screen, bro. Unmute your mic as well, because if you're talking, I can't hear you.
I apologize. I'm trying to get my PowerPoint back up. Hold up. What the hell going on? Share screen. Windows. I apologize for that part. Hold up. Okay. Let's see.
All right, while we waiting on our brother, I'm gonna do what he suggested the first time and go to a commercial break. Never mind. See, as soon as I say commercial break, that PowerPoint come up. See? Start. Shout out to MVP Chris Harris. I think I saw him in the building. Time will start when you start, my brother. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, hey, I'm ready. Hey, you can trust, believe. I ain't gonna run out the building. You can believe that.
Best believe the legendary Mandinka Molly ain't running.
Right, I ain't never ran from a debate. Hold up, man. Once I get it going, it's on. Hold up, is that my fault?
Time start when you start, bro.
He ain't never had no technical problem in the debate. He ran from the whole show, y'all. We know who he is. Let's go. Y'all see this? He see my screen?
Time starts.
All right. Now, see, he came up here. So, like I say, his job is to prove that Christopher Columbus came to these Americas before Columbus. You sit up here arguing sources that I didn't even bring up. Now,
okay, JJ,
yeah.
Mandinka, I stopped your time at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Yeah. Listen, I stopped your time at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Is it any way you can make your screen bigger? Like go to where it says.
How about that?
There you go. All right. That's a lot better. All right. Time to start when you're ready.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm sorry y'all had to sit through that 20 minutes of just rambling. I'm fake. You have my sources. And like, man, bro, you ain't did nothing, bro. You ain't taught the audience nothing. Hey, look, Columbus, I'm not going to spend too much time on Columbus because I'm going to get into my information. Now, the lack of primary accounts of Christopher Columbus himself has led many scholars to question the accuracy of the existing accounts. Where's your primaries for that? To reevaluate the traditional narrative of Columbus' life and voyages. Some of the challenges of reconstructing Columbus' life and voyages include, look at this, y'all, limited sources. As mentioned earlier, there is no primary account from Columbus himself. Cedric, show it to us. And many of the secondary sources are incomplete. Like he said, there's a fraction of this and that. Incomplete and biased or accurate. We're dealing with biased narratives. Many of the accounts of Columbus' life and voyage were written by people who have a vested interest in promoting a particular narrative or agenda. That's that pseudoscientific racist agenda that Cedric promotes. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. All right, hold up. Let me make it small so I can read. I want to get to my information. I'm gonna get to look. Here go one of the documents you need to deal with right here. Hold up, man. Hold up. Okay, yeah. Okay, like I said, there are no primary sources for Columbus himself that can be verified. How can we trust secondary sources that were written decades and centuries after Columbus' voyages, y'all? This didn't happen just right after. Centuries after he so-called walked the earth or whatever. Why does Columbus not leave behind any written records of his voyages? We cannot find them. Why do different accounts of Columbus' voyages contain conflicting information? See, I'm rebuttaling your information, sir, about Columbus, and I'm going to get into mine, something that you didn't do. How can we reconcile the differences between dates and timelines provided in various sources? Why do some accounts describe Columbus as a hero while others portray him as a ruthless conqueror? Lack of archaeological evidence. Why is no definitive archaeological evidence been found to support the traditional narrative of Columbus' voyages? I want her to get past this. What role did the Catholic Church play in promoting Columbus myth? Why did Spanish monarchs support Columbus voyages, and what did they hope to gain? See, this dude's up here promoting this Columbus myth. Now let me get you my information, man. Let me get you my information. I ain't got time. It's your job to prove something for him, not me. When you gonna prove it? I'm already disproving. Show us some validity. Let me see where I want to start. Let me see where I'm starting to bust this dude head, man. Come here to play with you. Anybody else out there that's looking around? Huh? Hold on, let me get to it. Hold up. Where we gonna start? Let's start up in here. Hold up. Let me get to where I want to start. All right. We're gonna skip that part. We're gonna start right here.
Do you need to stop in time?
Yeah, stop my time so I can get right to where I need to get to.
All right, time is stopped at 16 minutes, 37 seconds.
Okay, cool. Hold up. So once I go in, you're in some trouble, sir. All right, let's start right here. All right, let's start right here. No, I'm gonna start right there. All right, let's start right here. Yeah, let's start right here. Not my time. See, what I'm bringing to the table, man, I'm bringing science to the table. I'm bringing geochemical analysis. See, it confirmed African mineral origins in pre-Columbian weapons and metals. I'm talking about copper from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia, brass from Morocco and Algeria, way before any European weapons were found in the United States. Iron, Nigerian, and can somebody mute their mic, please? Nigeria and Ghana. See, sources, peer-reviewed Journal of Archaeological Science, Latin American Antiquity, academic books that came from before Columbus, American presence in early America, institutional reports from the Smithsonian, National Geographic, USGS. All right, let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going. Now, this is my side. When are you going to present your side? Huh? Here goes the summary. Pre-Columbian African presence in America is confirmed. Sickle cell genes found in ancient American remains, training back to African origins. This is what I'm bringing. African anchors discovered in the Caribbean waters, dated back to 12,000 1400 CE, matching Mali Empire designs. African weapons found in pre-Columbian American sites, including the Ikula knives from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. How about this, y'all? The Ngomi Ngulu sickle blades from the Democratic Republic of Congo. All these are verified. The Berber daggers were found here in these lands before 1492. You ain't gonna find no European weapons over here before 1492. You ain't. You need to get in front of us and prove that this European presence, this European establishment made a genetic marker over Africans who made their genetic marker here first. Now you got to go to these Italians because you said Christopher Columbus is Italian. I got his marker right here. It ain't nowhere to be found. Early. Let's keep going. Geochemical analysis confirmed African mineral origins in pre-Columbian weapons and metals. Let's keep going, man. Pre-Columbian African presence in America is supported by genetic, archaeological, and geochemical evidence. This challenges traditional narratives of Columbus' discovery of America. Let's keep going. Yeah, validation and methodology and science method. Reproducibility. See, I'm going to show you the methods they use, sir, which you have failed to do. You ain't even showed us anything. Results verified by multiple laboratories. Yes, Harvard University Geochemical Laboratory. I guess you didn't go look that up, did you? You bring up sources I ain't even bring into this debate. I want y'all to document that. The University of Oxford, y'all better help them out. Isotope Laboratories, USG Geological Survey, USGS Laboratories. Data quality control precision plus 2.5% of elements concentrates. Isotope ratios, accuracies, 5 to 10%. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. The scientific method steps. Observation. Pre-Columbian weapons were unknown with unknown mineral origins. The question, did minerals originate from Africa?
Hypothesis, yes, geochemical analysis will reveal African mineral signatures. Prediction, African geochemical fingerprints will match weapon samples. Experimentation, geochemical analysis of weapon samples, data analysis, comparison with African geological samples, and database. I'm showing you the methods. He ain't showing you nothing. Show us the scientific method, the methodology the scientists use to study Christopher Columbus' bones and his extraction, his DNA. First of all, you have to go to 3 different grave sites to pick which one, and all of them is inconclusive. Well, this ain't even body resistant. You can't even prove where the ships is, the Nina, the Pina, and the Santorini. Like you said, them should be in museums. Let's keep it going, man. Experimentation, geochemical analysis of weapon samples. This was used. The conclusion, African origins confirm a pre-Columbian weapons and minerals. Let's keep going, man. Look at this. Now I'm finna really bust your goddamn head. I'm finna hit you with a 40 clip. Look at this. Weapons. Obsidian swords were found. Geochemical signatures match obsidian deposits from where? Ethiopia and Eritrea. Minimal compensation, 70%, 50% ALO 203. Geochemical analysis. You're seeing all the results. Look at the results, y'all. The match is 95% with African obsidian copper daggers. Excuse me. Copper daggers also found in Peru. Geochemical signatures. He don't know nothing about no geochemical signatures. Match copper deposits in the Democratic Republic. Match the copper deposits in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia. Look at this, y'all. 92% match. African copper. How you going to debunk this? Iron spearheads. Geochemical signatures match iron deposits in Nigeria and Ghana. 80% match with African iron. How that just pop up over there? Huh? Look, terracotta figurines in Ecuador. Geochemical signatures match. Clay. The clay deposits, sir. In Mali and Ghana. He ain't bringing nothing. You gonna get in front of me with this nonsense, bro. All you did is bring in definitions. Look, now I'm finna hit you with a 40 piece. Now I'm finna hit you. Look, here go 40 bullet points. Look, weapons and tools. Obsidian swords, African origin confirmed. Copper daggers in Peru, African origin confirmed. Iron spearheads in Brazil, African origin confirmed. Bronze axe in Colombian, again, African origin confirmed. Wood spears and metal tips, Ecuador, African origin confirmed. Slingshots with African style stones. They did all the research on these. Harpoons with bone points. What are he bringing to the table to verify any artifacts, any DNA of Christopher Columbus being here before Africans? I'm talking about what you bringing up a source of reference I never brought to this debate. You already lost. Look at it. Fishing hooks with plants and fibers in Mexico. Ceremonial knives with ivory handles, Peru. Look, war clubs like I'm bringing to this debate with a stone on top of your head from Brazil. Let's keep going, man. Dude, I don't know what he got in the ring with me for. Look at it. Confirmed. Now we're going to do the woods, plants, and materials, ebony wood carvings, African blood musical instruments, rosewood figurines, mahogany canoes. You got to debunk all that, sir. You ain't
10 minutes, JJ. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, good. Look, terracotta figurines, clay pipes. Hold on, let me keep going, man. Let me keep going, bro. You got a lot to deal with, sir. Huh? How about the textiles, foods, coins, jewelry, shoes? All this is tested and dated before 1492, and they all have an African origin. Cotton fabrics, indigo dyed textiles, leather sandals, domestic-graded Guinean fowl, navigation tools. Bro, what are you doing, man? What are we doing? Huh? You want to look? Counter. Oh, look, you will say, your testing methods are flawed? Well, guess what? The rebuttal. We use methods of SRF, the SEM-EDS, DNA analysis, sir, verified by peer-reviewed journals and labs. Here go another of your counters that you might come out your goddamn own mouth. Sample size is too small. Guess what? I already prepared for that rebuttal. We analyzed 400 samples across 40 categories, exceeding standard archaeological sample sizing. Look, you got another counter that you might say contamination could have occurred. We followed the strict protocols to prevent contamination, including glove use and sterile equipment. All right, let's keep going. Keep going, bro. You got a lot of questions to answer, sir. That's what you got. That's what you got to deal with. You ain't bringing nothing about no goddamn Christopher Columbus doing anything. How about this? Counter. Dating methods were inaccurate. Well, the rebuttal is we use multiple dating methods, radiocarbon, thermolucents, to cross-validate results. Counter. Your labs lack proper accreditation. Rebuttal. Our labs are accredited by international bodies. A2LA ISO 17025. Let's keep going, man, because I got so much to bring out today, man. Yeah, man. This dude ain't brought us nothing. Look at this. Counter. African presidents is impossible due to ocean currents. Rebuttal. Historical records and model experiments prove African vessels could cross oceans, which he want to try to take away from us. You know? Let's see what else. Oh, here, testing methods. Okay, now, yeah, okay, hold on. Let's keep going. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, look at this, y'all. 20 points to express how late European settlements came to the Americas. Look at this. Indigenous Americans arrived 15,000 to 20,000 years ago via land bridge from Asia. Africans arrived 2,000 to 3,000 years ago via transatlantic migration and trade. That's a very important word to listen to because Cedric wants you to believe that we only got here through slavery. Look at this. Europeans arrived 500 to 600 years via Columbus in 1492. Look, we got 2,000, 3,000 years ago. We got documented evidence. But these Eurocentrics want to try to discredit that because they're perpetuating the myth of the pseudo-scientific racist ideology that Christopher Columbus described everything. Look at this. Delayed European settlements. Europeans were latecomers to the Americas compared to indigenous Americans and Africans. European settlements was delayed due to various factors, including the Black Death, the Crusades, and lack of maritime technology. When are you going to show that they maritime technology and show that they was more advanced than Africans? Bring that to the table. You're up here getting dog walk. How about this, man? Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And then, okay, let's see. Read this. Okay, African. Okay, I read that. Hold up. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Look, the legacy of the late European settlement. This is what he up here defending, y'all. The legacy of the late European settlement continues to impact the lives of indigenous Africans, indigenous Americans and Africans descendant communities. Historical trauma and ongoing disparities persist in areas like education, healthcare, economic opportunity. Just a little fun fact to let you know what I'm dealing with when he gets in front of me with this goddamn nonsense. Excuse my language. Now, acknowledging the late arrival of European settlement is crucial to understand the complex history of the Americas. Let's keep going, man, because I got a lot.
Had you come over? Yes.
I got a lot.
Yes.
I got a lot for you, sir. I got a lot.
Listen, yesterday when you came over to the beach turkey.
What we got here? Let's really break this down. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Use of astronomical instruments. Africans use astronomical instruments such as the astrolabe to measure the position of stars and planets. These Europeans didn't understand that. How can they have beat us here? They also use a kamal, a navigational instrument used to measure the altitude of the suns and the stars. Huh? What else we got? Look, navigation by the stars. They didn't understand that. Africans navigated by the stars using the position of the constellations and to determine their direction and location. Cedric, show us these Europeans using this type of knowledge before Africans. You won't be able to do it. You won't.
5 minutes, JJ. 5 minutes.
They knew the patterns of the stars. Europeans did not. And they used them to navigate across the ocean. Remember, there is no clear-cut, conclusive evidence that Christopher Columbus did this first, and there is no clear-cut evidence that Africans. So I got to present a case. Let y'all decide. What is he doing? Where has he presented the case? He's up here running his mouth, being Eurocentric. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Now look, we understood the ocean currents. Africans had a deep understanding of ocean currents, and they used them to their advantage to when navigate. They knew how to read the signs of the ocean. They used it to predict the changes of weather and currents. Let's keep going, man. They exchanged goods, ideas, and culture. How far-fetched is it harder for that to believe with other cultures? Christopher Columbus taught us everything. Come on, bro. Look at this. African maritime explorers such as Abakari II. Now, he will believe a Christopher Columbus voyage and oral tale or tradition, but he comes against the Black African tale of us coming over here for some reason. So let's just throw both of them stories, as far as the myth and the tale, and let's get down to the information backing these stories up. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? I haven't seen you bring anything but complain about sources that I never even brought up because I didn't even go yet. Think about that, y'all. Now, they explored the coastline of Africa and beyond, establishing trade routes and cultural exchange networks. I hope y'all paying attention, judges. So who's connecting? Who's bringing the story? Who's trying to show a valid point of their case? Cedric has failed to do that. The legacy of the African maritime culture. The legacy of the African maritime culture can be seen in many African diasporic communities around the world. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next one. He ain't done that. He ain't showing no haplogroup. I'm going to go all that. All that. Let's see. Here go 30 bullet points to highlight the late development of European navigation. They Johnny come lately, man. Look at this, y'all. Europeans had limited maritime experience before the 15th century. They had not undertaken significant oceanic voyages. Oh, this is like a guy who came prepared, Mr. MVP. Their maritime trade was largely confined in the Mediterranean until the 15th century. They'll call you to go. Look. Lack of advanced navigation techniques. Europeans lack advanced navigation techniques such as celestial navigation. They knew nothing about it, y'all. These Europeans knew nothing about it. Remember, the Moors had to go over there and tell them to wash their ass and brush their teeth, which was developed by other civilizations. They Johnny come lately. They relied on dead reckoning and pilotage, which is a less accurate method. And you telling me they came here first? Look at this, y'all.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Look at this, y'all. Limited understanding of the ocean. Europeans had limited understanding of the ocean. They did not understand the patterns and the currents, winds and waves. They did not have enough thorough knowledge of the tides, with the navigation even more challenging. Hold on, what else we got? You said I got 2 minutes? Let me keep going. Look at this, y'all. They had no concept of latitude and longitude. Europeans did not have a concept of latitude or longitude until the 15th century. We see no evidence of them until after European colonization. Why is that? But we see evidence of other cultures over here way before them, particularly Africans. And he want to come up here and try to talk absolute, ain't even built the case. Look at this. Europeans didn't have no concept of latitude and longitude. They didn't understand concept of declination, which made navigation even more challenging. We understood that. Look at this. Limited use of navigational instruments. Europeans had limited access to navigation instruments such as an astrolabe, which was introduced from the Middle East. They did not know how to use this tool for navigation until the 15th century. Man, come on, bro. When is he going to get over here and show us something but when this guy got over here? Huh? Look. No concept of the Canary Currents. Europeans did not have a concept of Canary Currents. You see all the different stuff I'm bringing up? Judges, I want y'all to recognize that, which made navigation across the Atlantic even more challenging. They didn't understand the patterns of the Canary Current, which made navigation even more challenging. I'm attacking Christopher Columbus because the name of this debate is, did Christopher Columbus, that's his name, come to the America for Africans? Has he shown us any proof? Has he presented any proof, any primaries? There is no primary accounts of Christopher Columbus writing anything. There's no logs. There's no ship logs. There's no goddamn proof where he's buried. They got him 3 different goddamn places. Where is he buried?
That is time. That is time. Shout out to both of these brothers for passionate first round. A very impassioned first round. Shout out to both brothers for giving it they all in this powerful first round. That being said, before we get into the second round festivities, just a little bit of a channel promotion, if you will. Let me show y'all what we got coming up this Wednesday. Oh man, can get the thing handles fight between the undisputed, defeated versus series were pandemic and the success went 7 p.m. Central Time. My man Super was going, hoping he could break this thing as these brothers try to come up. My man. These brothers gonna try to come up with a topic for this world title debate that they have coming up. Shout out to both brothers as we move forward with the Versus series. As I say, the Versus series is live in 2025. And we also have another powerful debate coming up. We have our very own Najiti. Y'all know him from the Najiti Perspective, which airs weekly for the most part right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. And he'll be taking on our brother Courtney Thompson. This is Christian on Christian violence, family. These brothers are both Christians, but they disagree on when the Exodus occurred. This will be happening on.
It's a critical issue. Any significant African solidifying. This is Christian. That is fine. American representation of the.
First, hold up. Dude, that shit was. I was like, damn. All right, see, you see it now? Let's go, man.
Let's see where you at.
Let's
All
go.
right, I got you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Make it a little bigger, bro.
Hold up. All right, hold up.
Time haven't started yet.
Can you see that?
That's much better, much better. All right, time start when you start.
Okay, so now I'm going to bring somebody to the table, which he has not done. I'm finna bring my scholar up. You see, the presence of EM2 in Americas before Columbus has significant for our understanding of the peoplings of America. He ain't got no source. He just crying. The dominant theory suggested Americans were populated by single migration from Asia across the Bering Land Bridge. However, the presence of EM2 in the Americas suggests that there has been multiple migrations to the Americas. This is Afrocentric. He Eurocentric over there, y'all. See, including a migration from Africa. He wants to deny this. So here's my guy. Now, hey, when are you going to bring your guy to the table to prove that Christopher Columbus did anything? That's what we're waiting on. Now, the study by Bortoli and others, 2003, provides a strong evidence, but Juju, all y'all go look it up right now. You ain't going to be able to debunk it. From the presence of EM in the Americas before Columbus. This study found that EM2 was present in several indigenous American populations, including the Maya and the Kuka. The study also found that EM2 haplogroup in Americas was mostly closely related to EM2 haplogroups in Africa, suggesting a recent common ancestry between the two populations. All right, let's keep going. Oh, shit, let's keep going. All right. In conclusion, the presence of EM2 in the Americas before Columbus is a well-established fact that has significant implications for the understanding of the peoplings of America. The study by Bertolli, 2003, provided strong evidence of the presence of EM2 in America before Columbus, and the phylogenetic analysis shows that the EM2 haplogroup in the America was mostly correct. Shows that it was mostly that the EM2 haplogroup in America is most closely related to the EM2 haplogroup in Africa. All right, let's keep going. All right. Now, the present EM2 in America before Columbus challenged the dominant theory. We said that the study of the people in America is a complex and multifaceted topic that requires an interdisciplinary approach. The present EM2 in America before Columbus is just one of the examples of the complex, nuanced history of human migration and admixture in America. Remember, this debate is about who got here first. Where's Columbus and the crew and all those guys admixture with the indigenous people? You can't find it until afterwards. So how the hell did he get here first? You have no proof of his voyage. We don't know where his ships is. We don't know where his ship logs is. We know none of his navigation tools. So now you got to go a different route. I'm showing what I got. Where's his haplogroup? I'm gonna show you his haplogroup. I'm gonna show you how late it got here, sir. Stop playing with me, man. You ain't showed no source. Here go my reference right here. There it is. Look it up. Huh? There it is. Here go others who agreed with him. Huh? Look it up. Man, my fault you don't know. Now, while it is possible, okay, listen. Now, why it is possible that recent gene flow from Africa could have introduced EM2 into the Americas, the genetic data suggests that EM2 has been present in America for thousands of years. This is what my guy's saying. Thousands of years, the study of Bertolini and others, 2003. You see? What is his guy saying that said Christopher Columbus brought his tail over here? See? Hold on, what else I got over here? Now, look. The presence of EM2 in America is not significant. This is what guys like Cedric say, and does not challenge the dominant theory of the peoplings of America. Well, here goes my rebuttal to that, Cedric. The presence of EM2 in America is significant because it challenges the dominant theory of the peoplings of America, which suggests that Americans were populated via single migration from Asia, the Bering Land Bridge, an old concept. The presence of EM2 in America suggests that there might have been multiple migrations to the Americans, including immigrations from Africa. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Here go another one. Look. The study by Bertini, here go where your source at? Here go all the people that came against him, and here go his rebuttals, y'all. I already checked my guy out. Where's his guy? When we gonna see the navigation routes, and where did the leader land? In the Pinta, where did that land? In the Santa Maria. How come it ain't in a museum right now? Cedric, show us that. Show us where he located his body at. They got him buried in 3 goddamn different places. Show us that. Show us authentic letters of this guy, Columbus. Show us that, sir. Show us authentic handwritings. Show us first-hand primary accounts of his family. So I looked it up, ain't none of them connected. None of them. While the story, look at this, y'all. Look at the question. The study has methodological limitations, and the results should be interpreted with caution. Now, I'm going to bring y'all to the study that I'm bringing to y'all. What study has he brought to prove that Christopher Columbus came here before anybody? Well, it's true that all studies have methodological limitations. The study, here's my source guy. I'm bringing them to the table. Use a reverse methodology to analyze the genetic data. The study used a large sample size and variety of genetic markers to analyze the data. Now I'm showing them how he did it, y'all. Cedric ain't done that. He just want to come up here and tell somebody what they don't understand, and you don't understand nothing. Because you sit up here talking about Christopher Columbus came to these Americas before anybody else, before Africa. You ain't showed us no artifacts. You ain't showed no DNA markers. You ain't showed no authentic records. Nothing. But your lip. And your Eurocentric ideology, your pseudo-scientific racist ideologies. Now, let's keep going. Now, and the result were consistent with the presence of EM2 in the Americas. Additionally, this study findings have been confirmed by subsequent studies, including the study by Cafferat, and found that EM2 in several indigenous American populations. He's trying to say that none of our bloodline is in any of the indigenous populations. None of us, y'all. Can you believe this? And they got all traditional stories, and them telling them that they met up with goddamn Africans. And he want to dispel that, but he believed this myth of Christopher Columbus. But that's got a story of myth or voids about Abakar II, and he want to shut it down. It's pseudo. I ain't never heard of any of the pseudo killers say that the story of Christopher Columbus was pseudo, because this is their agenda. I'm here to shut it down. Let's keep going, man. And look at this. Look at this. Here go my guy. Where your guy? Counter argument number 5. The presence of EM2 in America is due to contamination or sample error. See, I checked it. Rebuttal. The genetic data was carefully collected and analyzed to minimize the risk of contamination or sample error. The study of Bertini, 2003, used a robust methodology to analyze this genetic data, including a use of multiple genetic markers in large sample size. You keep telling you how you're doing this. Let's keep going, man. I got a lot. Here you go. But prove incredible. Look at this. Here you go. Look him up. Huh? They got the numbers for you. Now, evaluate credibility of the author. This is how I did mine. When is Cedric going to show anything how he did it? Check the author's qualification expertise in the field of genetics anthropology. I asked the search engine, please make sure you do not use hypothetical sources. Cross-reference them and vet them. Sprint and Cedric showed anything, any source or anybody he had brung up here. Nothing. Check the author's qualifications. Let's keep going, man. I'm running out of time. I got a lot to say. Let's go. What's this? What's this? Huh? Look at this. Here goes the source. Mitochondrial DNA and Y chromosome variation American Journal of Physical Anthropology 122.2, 127.36. It's not my fault that you use a ChatGPT-3, which is not a search engine designed for academic and scientific studies, sir. I'll show you that at the end. Now, check the alpha. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. I'm gonna show you. See. Okay, so as you can see, here's what I did to check out the information. I don't want to lean too much time on that because I want to get into more. All right, here we go. Here you go. All right, let's go. Now, this thesis aims to investigate the presence of the African haplogroup EM2 in pre-Columbian America, exploring the implications of the findings on our understanding of ancient human migration and population dynamics. This is where you're going to have a problem, y'all. This study will examine the genetic relationship between EM2 and the European haplogroups I-M253, I-M26. I got to bring it out for him because he don't even know. I-P37, I-P215, and I-M170, highlighting the late arrival of these European haplogroups in the Americas. You better be showing us how they got here before us. It's a race. Not just your lip, not just definitions. It is a race, sir. You'll be telling me. No. Look, you want to talk about Denimore now? You ain't disproved none of that. You ain't disproved none of that. None of that, sir. Look at this. Denimorphology is a real science. It is a real science. Don't let them fool you. Hold up. Look, this is what they use when they test for the teeth. This method measures the amount of radiocarbon 14 in organic materials such as bone or teeth by comparing the amount of carbon 14 in the sample to the amount of modern samples.
10 minutes, JJ. 10 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna get more to that. Hold up. Look, like I say, man. Here's the extended background of admixture methodology and scientific method used to study the EM2 subclade in Mesoamerica. The study of human populations have revealed that many populations have experienced admixture. Why isn't Cedric addressing this admixture? He needs to show this European admixture before Africans. Because Columbus himself could have populated. He had to have a crew with him. And these are these Italians. And this is the genetic marker that I'm going to get into in my next round. I'm going to show you where these clowns come from, man. I'm going to show you. I ain't calling them clowns. I don't mean it like that. I'm trying to be respectful. But I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, where Christopher Columbus and this Italian marker come from. He has to show this. It's a race. We can't go by the myth no more. If you don't believe my voice story, and I don't believe yours, now what do we do, judges? Now we have to prove other ways of proving our case or stating our case. And Cedric Ortega has yet to do that. He's come up here with all this goddamn nonsense and JJ's pseudoscience dies at the source. What source? One of them, what you put up there, didn't even have a goddamn name, said it was invalid or something, bro. You ain't vetted no sources. You just got a little website up there, and we supposed to take you serious? So you can't sit up here and discredit my sources when I just brought my guy to the table. Dude, you better go tell Juju and the rest of your crew to get somebody up here proving Christopher Columbus came to these Americas before anybody else, and especially Africans. Where is that information? Where is it at? We haven't seen it one time in this debate. He's just trying to appeal to y'all and say that, oh, yeah, you heard him say about Afrocentrics? You got damn right I'm Afrocentric. Them my people. You got damn right I come in the name of Ivan Van Sertima, Renuku Rashidi. Them my people. You come in the name of Randy Rudolph and all these other squares. That's what you do. Ain't showed us nothing. Ain't showed us no Columbus route. When is you going to talk about Columbus for the whole round and not me? That's the title of the debate, judges. Remember that. Did Christopher Columbus come to the Americas before Africans? Am I still on or I fall off?
You still on, bro?
Okay. Yeah, man. So, you say how many minutes you say I have left? I thought I have
you got 7 minutes, 18 seconds.
Oh, 7 minutes. Oh, I'm finna rock and roll. Thank you. Stop it. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to it. I thought you said 2 minutes. Yeah, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, man. This dude's he's done.
defending a fairy tale. Let me get my screen back. Hold up. Exit full screen. Let's continue. You goddamn right I'm theatrical. Who want to be put to sleep by Cedric? I got to carry the whole debate. Come on, man. All right, hold up. Can you stop my time for a second, sir? Don't worry about it, man.
Time is paused at 6 minutes, 35 seconds.
Okay, cool. Hold up. Yeah. Hold up. Let's get back to it, man.
And if y'all ever need to see your time, let me know and I'll share my screen. It's as simple as this.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So I'm just showing y'all, if y'all ever want to see y'all time, let me know and I'll show you.
Okay.
Let me get your screen back up.
Yeah.
Time start when you're ready.
Yeah, man, this dude, man, let me tell you something about Columbus. Because remember, this debate is about Columbus. Did he come here first? He too smart to come here. Hey, we too dumb, remember? This is the narrative. Columbus' arrival in America led to, like I say, erase indigenous people and their culture, their history. That's what it did. Columbus' treatment of indigenous people were brutal and racist if this dude really existed. I'm still on the borderline of thinking he never existed. Cedric can't prove nobody up here. He might all be defending Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, and Spider-Man all hung out together in his living room. You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked to believe in the white narratives of Christopher Columbus, but disregard the black narrative of Abacar II, our African stories. Look at this, man. Let me get back to my information. Let me get back. Let me see, where was I at? I thought my time was up. Hold up. Keep going. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Let's see. Hold up. Let's see. Yeah. I want y'all to think. When has he presented anything to us about Columbus? Hold on for a second. Information. Hold on. I'm gonna keep talking. Can you see my screen?
I do not see this.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, look, let me put me on the big screen. What like I say, I came here, man, to fight against a narrative that's been in our community for a long time, and that is that us as a people, we weren't intelligent enough to navigate. We weren't intelligent enough to build empires. This is what the Eurocentrics are promoting. I brought a lot of evidence towards my side. I'm not saying there's conclusive evidence. I'm not saying there's conclusive evidence. I said just believing in a story that was told to us as a child. You see? Like I say, man, I have brought you a lot of information, and in my last round, I'm going to go studying oral traditions by other explorers. What's good, Yasha? Peace and blessings, brother. Jump on, man. The link at the top if you want to. There we go. Anybody else? This oral tradition saying that they had encounters when they met up with the indigenous people. That yes, there are Africans here. So, like I said, man, how much time I got left?
You got 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, let me get back to my information. This 20-minute debate is long, but I'm with it. I'm with it. You keep my time going. I'm with it. I'm with it. Yeah. I won't, but like I said, my question, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you do or don't like me. This ain't about that. This ain't about that. This is about the validity of his information versus the validity of my information. Of my thesis, of my information, of my research that I came across. Not this story of
what was was fed to him as a kid. Where's these European tools that should be found before these African tools? Where's the food products that come from over to Europe over here before the African food? Where's their jewelry and their coins? We got coins that date back older than 1492 found in Americas, in Brazil, in Peru. He will keep crying about a source. Now I showed you somebody with a source. Ladies and gentlemen, when he come back on here, is he going to show a source or somebody that's backing up the information that he's saying? I'm not saying that wins the whole debate, because the presentation counts as well, and you have done a miserable job explaining to the people your side of the story. I need to see when Columbus came over here, and you say he landed at what port? I need to see these royal documents. I need to see first-hand accounts of peoples there talking to him, saying, yeah, where's his crew? Where's other crews, other people who have ships? They've written documents about this guy. All these stories come years and years later after so-called Columbus existed. So if you're going to hold the Christians and the Hebrews accountable and saying that they have to prove this in a amount of time, you can't talk about what happened years later, then you need to do the same thing. Not one time have you with the rowdies taken. Oh, look at these. Here's the textiles that come from Italy and Spain. That was over here a long time ago. Oh, look, here's the linguistics connections between Italy and Spain, wherever we come from, that was amalgamated with indigenous people. Look at the shared loan words. Look at archaeology. He has not done any of that. Look at the religious connections. You haven't done none of that, bro. We're saying who came in first, meaning who made the influence. And not only that, who genetic marker is here? Who's here first? Even if it's a small 2% sample found in indigenous people, 2% of that population at this time, that's a 500,000 to 1 million Negroes or blacks or Africans. That's a lot of baby making that can be done. What you talking about, bro? So do not discredit the 1 or 2% that you may see admixing the population. Look up the population and you take that 1 or 2%, and that's how many Negroes was floating around here. It wasn't just no 1 or 2. Well, man, this debate, like I said, man, to me, it's about who really being real to the people. Who explaining this better? Who have shown a source? Who have shown different information? He think he's a professor. You're not qualified to debunk anybody's sources, bro.
And that's time. That is time. We are moving on to the third and final round.
Hold on. DMG. Could I say something?
Of course.
I'm just saying they have
independently in Muslim, the independent African continent.
What I should do here.
All right, it should work now. Somebody just unshared. Go ahead, Sid.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry you had to go through that poor demonstration of scholarship. Again, you realize he can't actually present you with a source, and the one source that he presented you with, a pseudo always dies as its source. In its own rebuttal, it says the methodology, it is true, the methodology is flawed. It is not peer-reviewed. It has not been accepted by the scientific community. Remember in my opening round, I told you he was going to try this, but do not accept it. These are unsupported claims that he's making. Because this particular study was in reference doesn't mean that it was corroborated by the scientific community. But this is, again, a lack of JJ's a particular understanding to the environment he's dealing with. Now, in addressing the claims made regarding textile evidence, you just heard him talk about these artifacts, pre-Columbian African contact in the Americas. It is important to examine these claims critically. Given the lack of substantial evidence, he couldn't present you with any, he only was begging the question. First, both African and American cultures developed textile techniques independently. There is no conclusive proof that these similarities indicate direct contact. In the opening round, I told you what he would do. Because there's no evidence to disprove his claim makes it true. That's not how science worked. The practice of weaving, spinning, and dyeing were common across different cultures and
Let them flim from me. I showed y'all the methodology they use. I showed you the percentages, all of that. All he's been doing is complaining. He ain't brought one source, one reference, one peer-reviewed article, one scholar, anything.
Due to parallel development, not necessarily through diffusion. There is no African textile tools. You need to present us with the evidence or material found in pre-Columbian American archaeological sites to suggest African influence. You want me to do your job.
Your job is to prove that Christopher Columbus came to the Americas before Africans, and you have done a poor job.
How does that make sense? Second, the claim of textiles patterns resembling African designs in the Mesoamericas or South American cultures is largely based on interpretation, aka lookership, not solid archaeological evidence. Many diffusionist theories, like the idea that textiles that traveled across the Atlantic before Columbus, failed to account for the independent evolution of similar technologies in geographically isolated areas. Similar textile techniques can be traced to shared human ingenuity, not contact between distant civilizations. Everybody buries their people everywhere.
They're testing the material and it's tracing back to Africa. You missed that totally. It went over your goddamn head. They're testing the minerals. I mean, what are we doing? It just popped up out of nowhere. Come on, man. That's why I say this guy is a scientific fraud. He don't accept evidence.
Both African and Americans had sophisticated textile traditions. These should be viewed within their cultural context. The Maya, Inca, and other indigenous American civilizations developed their weaving independently, using local materials. There is no credible evidence of African textile artifacts being found in pre-Columbian America. JJ wasn't able to present you with none, only begging the question and making claims. In conclusion, while textile pattern may seem similar across continents, these similarities are more likely due to independent development rather than pre-Columbian African contact. Without tangible archaeological or material evidence, the claim of textile evidence for transoceanic contact remains unsupported and speculative, as he indicated in his own jargon. This is all speculation based on his emotion and how he feels. J.J. Sandhausen, in his desperation to fabricate pre-Columbian African contact, now he just resorted to one of the most ridiculous claims in the pseudo-historical playbook. Yams, yes.
See, this is how you know he making stuff. He got my name up in the source, y'all. JJ 7000. There's no source to start off with JJ 7000. He said, look at this guy. He didn't type this up himself. That's all he did. He don't know the difference between African yams and yams from over here, man. I mean, come on.
You heard it right. You just heard it. Yams. According to him and fellow blackologists, the presence of yam in America somehow proves.
So now we black. Now we blackologists. I mean, this guy's something else, man.
And Africans sailed across the Atlantic and established contact with indigenous people before Columbus. This argument is not just absurd, it's an insult to logic, science, and common sense. It's
call back, indigenous. You fell off and I tried to answer.
First, let's address the basic botany. Yams, the Escoda, exist in Africa and the Americas because they evolved independently in multiple regions. There are indigenous species of yam native to South and Central America, distinct, just as there are species native to Africa and Asia. The mere presence of a crop in two different locations.
However, everybody, we got the Lions Den fact checker in the building, indigenous black man. Go ahead, Art.
Is this the Columbus argument? Yeah, this is the Columbus. Remember, he didn't talk about the sweet potatoes or the other things that came across, plantain or whatever that came across the water too. That's all he had was the yam argument.
Yes, sir.
Remember? Yeah, what's going on, man? I didn't know you was live. I was over there watching the Apostle and them. I was calling about that, and then I happened to see you was on. That's why I hung up, because I was like, I don't interrupted the bill, talking about these lying. You know, they over there lying on something. You know, but yeah, I wanted to talk about that. You know.
Did you see the beginning of the show? Because I got way more to. I got a lot more information.
Yeah, that's why I was calling. That's why I was calling, because see, I got from the other night where Mandy Gamali makes Cedric Ortega say no mas on side that was on your channel. I wanted to see if you could play that of Icky 20 minutes of him later on if you got time. But it was on your show you did the other night, and it was him lying.
Now, I got a little itinerary right now. We might have to slip that in at the end, man. So throw you off.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll hit you up later then.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can hang out for this one. Go back and check out the beginning. I know stay on, come back on when I bring out some of my other guys. You know, that's busting their head. Look, I give you a little appetizer of it right now. Hold up. Let me show you. I mean, these guys are some trouble. Hold up, yo. Yeah, let's see. What's this one? You like this one. My articles, hold up.
Here, which we're all familiar with,
Watch this.
can
I'm ready to bust their goddamn head.
Caution to the wind and change.
Okay, see what we're talking about here is high confidence evidence versus low confidence evidence. Let me just give you a little taste of it. We can get away from Cedric wasn't talking about nothing. You hear me, conditions? Oh, he hung up. Okay, hold up. All right, so he hung up. But this is where we're gonna bust their head. I wasn't done with him.
Rapidly, and who cares? And that's basically a tryptophan synthase. They went through 9,300 generations, and that frequent recombination. So if there's a limited amount of tryptophan, maybe you're better off just not trying to wait.
So
right,
it just goes interruptions.
You're welcome to jump in anytime. It is your channel after all, and I'm very there.
I believe so too. I believe the topic of today. And if you are a Christian and you don't even like the discussions of evolution, hear us out. Hear this out. Hear Rob out and see what he has to say. And if you totally embrace evolution and you think it's silly to consider anything else, okay, well, here.
I tell you, we're gonna get back to them. Let's finish this. I want to have this third round documented. Hold up. Let's get back to the. But yeah, I got some heavy hitters coming up next. Hold up. Hold up, y'all. Said you're running from the real information. Get back to it. All right, so let's get back to his fallacies. Look at this guy.
Does it mean there was travel? It means plants exist in different places. If we follow 7,000's logic, we have to assume that elephants in Africa and India prove that ancient Africans sailed to South Asia and dropped them off. It's pure nonsense. Second, let's talk about evidence, or rather the total lack of it. If Africans supposedly introduced yams to the Americas, where's the corresponding proof of contact, this contact? There are the African tools, the ship remains, the settlements, where the linguistic traits you talk about, prove them, show them, or the genetic markers in indigenous population. There is none. There is zero archaeological evidence, genetic or linguistic evidence. You're talking about the EM2 when we know precisely when the EM2 gene was introduced. Multiple studies indicate this, and that's the corroborated evidence. You bring an unsupported, unverified hypothesis to the table. It says hypothesis in the title, and you think you have something. This shows you that you're out of a league. If there were actual contact, we would see unmistakable traces of African influence in pre-Columbian societies. Instead, all we get is vague speculations about crop that already growing in the Americas long before Columbus ever set sail. Third, real history and scientific research has already addressed how certain crops ended up in different parts of the world. For example, some African crops like rice arrived in the America after European contact via the transatlantic slave trade. Meanwhile, other plants like the Asian banana were introduced to Africa and the Americas through trade with Southeast Asia. But it is all documented. There's a clear chain of evidence for these exchanges. Unlike your fantasy yams, JJ, which is basically entirely on speculation and a complete ignorant. That's an example of pseudo always dying at a source. He pulled up a source saying, right, this is unsupported. The methodology is flawed, and we know when the EM2 came into existence. J.J. 7000 took a real plan, stopped a fake narrative on it, and hoped that nobody would check. But the fact is clear. Yams in the Americas are not proof of African contact. Just another failed attempt at rewriting history to fit an agenda. This argument is rotten, just like J.J. 7000's credibility. And
this is how y'all know these ain't real sources that he's using, y'all. That he got to put on the screen. These are little bullet points and opinion. You know why? Because they got my name all in the goddamn thing. Look at this, y'all. This is a classic example of pseudo always dying as a source. JJ, this is what he did to the whole 3 rounds. JJ 7000 took a real plant, slapped on a fake narrative, and hoped nobody would check. But the facts are clear. Yams in America are not proof of African contact. It's just another failed attempt at rewriting history to fit an agenda. This argument is rotten. And just like JJ 7000's credibility, it belongs in the trash. And come on, bro. You supposed to ad-lib this part and then show your information. He think this is a source.
Belongs in the trash. What you doing up here, brother? Now, let's take a look at the Blackology phenomenon. Because you accused me of attacking that, yes. In the ongoing debate about African presence in the pre-Columbian America, we see a disturbing trend, the reliance on so-called Blackology teachers, pseudo-scholars who distort history, misinterpret facts, and promote misleading ideas for personal or ideological gain. These individuals often use their self-proclaimed authority to push fringe theories without credible evidence, relying on distorted interpretations of history and misrepresented sources. 7,000, much like others in the pseudoscientific community, so-called scholars whose work is often based and confused. Start with a big one. Let's now take a closer look at the so-called scholars that 7,000 often cites in support of their theories. Their work lacked rigor, peer review, and credibility necessary to considered credible sources of knowledge. That's what JJ is presenting us with all night. Dr. Ranuka Rashidi. Rashidi was an academic who gained some notoriety in alternative historical history circles, particularly in African studies. However, his work is not considered credible within mainstream academia. Rashidi, who is known for promoting the idea of ancient African migration in the Americas, but his arguments are based on misrepresentation of archaeology and genetics, and they have been and has been widely criticized for lacking scientific basis. Dr. Ivan van Sertima, one of the most prominent figures in the so-called Blackology movement, van Sertima is often cited by proponents of African migration theories. His book, which JJ cited, They Came Before Columbus, is a cornerstone text in these circles. However, mainstream historians and archaeologists have heavily criticized van Sertima's claims. His books make sweeping assertions based on unreliable sources and dubious interpretations of evidence, including fabrication and misrepresentation of ancient African presence in the Americas. Dr. John Henry Clark was an African-American historian known for his contributions to African history, but he is often misquoted or selectively cited by pseudo-historians. While his work was important in advancing African history studies, some of his more speculative ideas, particularly those concerning African influence in the Americas before Columbus, are not supported by the scholarly consensus. His contributions, while important, are often exaggerated and misrepresented by phrase theories to give their arguments a veneer of legitimacy. Dr. Ben was a well-known proponent of the idea of African played a major role.
10 minutes, say 10 minutes.
Americas. While his work garnered attention within the Afrocentric movement, much of it is viewed with skepticism by the mainstream scholars. Dr. Ben claims often lack peer review evidence, and his assertion regarding African migration to the Americas before Columbus has been widely debunked. Like others in the Blackology movement, he took a speculative approach using unsupported claims to fuel his narrative. Dr. Chancellor Williams is another figure often cited by pseudo scholars. His book, The Destruction of the Black Civilization, is important in the African-centered scholarship, but his work on problematic by historians and archaeologists. Williams relied on selective reading of history, making assertions that are not grounded in reliable evidence. JJ 7000 has now reached the peak of delusion by claiming Ivan van Sertima was never debunked or refuted. This is not just false, it's an outright lie that shows he either hasn't read the critique or is deliberately ignoring them. Either way, his claims collapse under the weight of real scholarship. First, van Sertima's theories of pre-Columbian African contact were directly refuted by professional archaeologists, anthropologists, and humanists. The most comprehensive came in Native American cultures, van Sertima's Afrocentricity and the Olmecs in a peer-reviewed journal, current on selective use of linguistic. You talk about linguistic, I know why. He made wild on or skeletal evidence of pre-Columbian African presence in the Americas. None. Second, van Sertima never provided a single verified African artifact in the pre-Columbian American context. His claims about the Olmec heads were particularly ridiculous. He argued that their facial features were African, completely ignoring the fact that the heads resemble indigenous Mesoamerican features, and that similar features obtained in other Native American artwork. This is nothing but the racists. They couldn't have done it they couldn't have done it themselves. Argument. repackaged in Afrocentrism. Finally, even Van Sertima himself acknowledged that he had not had no definitive proof of African voyages to the Americas before Columbus. But of course, Blackologists like 7,000 conveniently ignore that. So let's set the record straight. Van Sertima was refuted decades ago. Real scholars in real academic journals. JJ 7000 claimed that he wasn't debunked. It's just more fraudulent nonsense from someone who wouldn't know legitimate research if it slapped him his own research. At this point, JJ isn't just defeated, he's humiliated, have dismantled his fabricated sources, exposed his fraudulent use of real scholarship, and annihilated every pseudo-historical claim he'd thrown out. But like all desperate pseudo-scholarships, he keeps clinging to the same tired nonsense, textiles, yam, and the ever-persistent delusions of Blackology. Let's be clear. Not a single claim he has made hold up to scrutiny, like his textile argument, debunked. The patterns and weaving techniques he tries to link to Africans are found across multiple ancient cultures, including indigenous American civilization that developed them independently. There is no African textile influence in pre-Columbian America. Just another baseless assumption he hoped nobody would fact check. His yams argument utterly destroyed. As I already explained, yam have indigenous species in America, and there's zero genetic, archaeological, or historical evidence that Africans introduced them. This is just another classic case of Blackologists pointing to a crop and screaming, Africa! Without a shred of supporting data. It is lazy, ignorant, and flat out wrong. And Blackology itself, nothing more than a conspiracy-laden cult of historical delusions. These pseudo-intellectuals operate like religious fanatics, bending history to fit their agenda while ignoring actual evidence. They rely on cherry-picked sources, outdated methodologies, and outright fabrications, and hoping that repetition will make their lies true. But history isn't built on wishful thinking. It is built on evidence. JJ has spent the entire debate running from evidence, distorting research, and shifting the burden of proof because he knows he has nothing. Pseudo always dies as its source, and every single fraudulent that is made has crumbled the moment real scholarship is right. He can double down all he wants, but the reality is clear. His arguments are worthless, his sources are fake, and his credibility is non-existent. This debate is over. Don't forget.
This how you know this guy don't understand the art of debate. If you make the claim that the earth is purple, then the burden of proof is on you. If you make the claim that Christopher Columbus came to the Americas before Africans, the burden of proof is on you. He don't understand that.
So he was never equipped to have it in the first place. Time.
Damn. 3 minutes.
At this point, it is useless. He's just blabbing his mouth. He's been discredited from every aspect. He's totally disrespecting the audience. We've been here long enough. I mean, at this point, what is there else to do? Listening to him try and discredit real scholarship because emotionally, they couldn't say over here, you provide any evidence, you just run in your mouth. Even your presentation is for the audience to sleep. You're an embarrassment. You shouldn't be on the stage with me to begin with. He can have the
all right. Let me reset the time to 3 minutes.
All right, hold up for a second. All right, hold up. Give me 30 seconds here. Let the beat down continue. He ready? Splash his mouth, y'all. Yeah, man. All right. Okay. Go ahead and start my time.
Time starts.
All right, y'all. Man, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry y'all had to sit through that. JJ this, JJ that. Come on, bro. We're finna get into it. All right. So now, as y'all see, during this debate, I have built my steps, my cases showing this side of the argument and then going against his side. And Cedric has been up here. He hasn't showed you any side of his scholars. I just presented my scholar last time, Bertollia. He didn't address him. So, also, we're going to get into about him real quick. Renuka Rashidi has not been debunked. You know, he's written extensively on the history and culture of Africa and American diaspora. He's known for his work in Africa and written several books. You know, so, I mean, that ain't the argument, though. So I ain't waste time enough to get into this. Now, he has to prove that these people haplogroup is here. Columbus, he ain't even told you what group he belonged to or none of that, right? So Columbus haplogroup. This is what I came up with, right? That I've researched. Research suggests that Columbus belongs to the Italian haplogroup R-M269. RM269. In America, studies have found that R269 is present in America, but in low frequencies than Europe. Now, here's the important part, y'all. The late arrival of R-M269. Genetic studies indicate that RM269 arrived in America relatively late, around the time of his voyage, his so-called voyage. I don't even believe he really got here. But anyway, ancient DNA studies in America, studies of ancient DNA in America has found that the majority of Native American population belong to haplogroups A, B, C, and D. Absence of R-M269. Ancient DNA studies have not found RM269, the pre-Columbian and pre-Columbian American population, but we can find the EM2 and the L in indigenous population. The RM269 is in European settlers. The RM269 has been found in European settlers who arrived in America after Columbus. When are you going to prove that Columbus even got here before any of these Africans? That's your job. That's your job. You shouldn't be up here with me. Let's keep going, man. Now, implications. The RM269 in America. The presence of RM269 in America is a result of European settlement, not an earlier migration. The indigenous American origins. The origins of indigenous American populations are distinct from those of European populations. The genetic legacy of colonialism is evident in the presence of European haplogroup in America, meaning it came afterwards. Here go the detailed breakdown. Look, origin, West Europe, Spain, Italy, and France. This is the haplogroup that Columbus come from, which I've asked him to show us. He didn't want to show this because he know that according to your records, if this is who you think this person is or who he belonged to, why ain't you showing them being here before an African haplogroup? That is a race. You haven't proved the story to be legit because you ain't came out with no documents, no proof of Santa Maria, whatever you call that, right? And this spread throughout Europe during the Neolithic era, absent in America until the late arrival of the Americas. The pre-Columbian area, zero. Look, in the pre-Columbian area, 0 R-M29 samples found. 15,000 years of DNA records. Post-Columbian area, 1492 onwards. Now you see the appearance of this RM269 in the Caribbean, America, 10%, South America, all after 1492. You ain't debunked nothing over here, proving that Africans haven't came here before they made it at 2.3%. The source, Smithsonian key migrations. Data point 2.4 plus 0.8% African ancestry in pre-Columbian Brazilians. I mean, what is this dude doing, man? Just pointing fingers.
You see that? That's a head buster. Even if this 2.3% is showing pre-Columbian African DNA and genetics in the Americas. You see that? Pay attention, young man.
fingers. Ain't quoted that one source. He ain't presence of European haplogroups in America, meaning it came afterwards. Here go the detailed breakdown. Look, origin, West Europe, Spain, Italy, and France. This is the haplogroup that Columbus come from, which I've asked him to show us. He didn't want to show this because he know that according to your records, if this is who you think this person is or who he belonged to, why ain't you showing them being here before an African haplogroup? That is a race. You haven't proved the story to be legit because you
already lost.
He came out with no documents, no proof of the Santa, meaning of Santa Maria, or whatever you call that, right? Then this spread throughout Europe during the Neolithic era, absent in America until the late arrival of the Americas. The pre-Columbian area, zero. Look, in the pre-Columbian area, 0 R-29 samples found. 15,000 years of.
Okay, so in pre-Columbian area in the Americas, you find 0 of the RM269 samples found. You don't find it. You have to wait till after 1492 and onwards. But then as we fast forward, we find 2.3% of African DNA in the Americas pre-Columbian. Who was here first? You idiot.
DNA records. Post-Columbian area, 1492 onwards. Now you see the appearance of this RM269 in the Caribbean. 5% of the modern population. And in Central America, 10%. South America. All after 1492. You ain't debunked nothing over here proving that Africans haven't came here before that. Now, African ancestry in pre-Columbian America is estimated at 2.3%. The source, Smithsonian, 2018. Native American population descend from 3 key migrations. Data point, 2.4 plus 0.8% African ancestry in pre-Columbian.
African ancestry in pre-Columbian is estimated at 2.3%. Source, Smithsonian, 2018. Native American population descend from three key migration. Data point, 2.4 to 0.8% African ancestry in pre-Columbian Brazilians. See, this dude was no match for the mind of 7,000, man. He just all filibuster and hot air and running his mouth and sound like a old ass bike, motorbike trying to start up. Shut up.
Brazilians. I mean, what is this dude doing, man?
What he doing?
Just pointing fingers.
This kills you right here, bro. Let me show you again. This kills you. I mean, hold up, man.
African and Asian DNA also found post-Columbian area, 1492 onwards. Now you see the appearance of this RM269 in the Caribbean. 5% of the modern population. And in Central America, 10%. South America. All after 1492. You ain't debunked nothing over here proving that Africans haven't came here before that. Now, African ancestry in pre-Columbian America is estimated at 2.3%. The source, Smithsonian, 2018. Native American population descend from 3 key migrations. Data point, 2.4 plus 0.8% African ancestry in pre-Columbian Brazilians.
This is over. That kills your whole debate. That kills it, sir. Why are you still up here? You should have did like Chris Harris, smashed your computer and left off the goddamn scene.
I mean, what is this dude doing, man?
I don't know, sir.
Just pointing fingers.
Yeah. Let me say that one more time in case they didn't hear.
Before that, post-Columbian area,
one more time.
1492 onwards. Now you see the appearance of this RM269 in the Caribbean. 5% of the modern population. And in Central America, 10%. South America. All after 1492. You ain't debunked nothing over here proving that Africans haven't came here before that. Now, African ancestry in pre-Columbian America is estimated at 2.3%. The source, Smithsonian, 2018. Native American population descend from 3 key migrations. Data point, 2.4 plus 0.8% African ancestry in pre-Columbian Brazilians. I mean, what is this dude doing, man? Just pointing fingers. Ain't quoted that one source. He ain't brave enough. RM269 accounts for 7% amount of American ancestry. Source: National Geographic 2020, Gene Legacy of European Colonization in America. Then goes to the data point and ancestry of modern and Central America. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. Here go to more sources. Look. And then don't forget, we got the Trans-Pacific contact between African and Native Americans 3,000 to 5,000 years ago.
The Trans-Pacific routes they took. I ain't even have enough time to go into that. 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, Africans came through that route. You ain't prepared.
Oh, I don't even want to get off into that. That's for another time, another place. But that's been proven. The Trans-Pacific contact when they went the other route.
Not the transatlantic, y'all. The Trans-Pacific.
Well, here goes some sources, bro. When are you going to bring up the supplemental table? Breaks it down. You see? Look, African ancestry percentage in pre-Columbian groups. Brazilians, 2.4%. That's about 1.5 million of that population. Caribbean Tainos. What is he showing? Before. Where's your people? The RM269 subtype. Colombians are air settlers brought mainly RM269 subtype R. 80% of the American RM269. Indigenous Americans still dominant. African and Asian DNA also found in Americans post-Columbus and pre-Columbian. Look, the Kenwood man, that's been debunked. All that. But we talking about Columbus, y'all. That's what we on. Look, the late admixture of post-Columbian RM269 European admixture arrived around 1492. Contained 5 to 10% modern American DNA. Highest in Central America, 10% European DNA. South America, 8%. Where's your numbers? Where's you showing the domination of these people that you representing? They numbers beating us here. You see what I'm saying?
This is bad.
We know the transatlantic slave brought millions. That's when it went up to 10 to 20. But before that, it was at 1 to 2%, which equaled out to 5,000 to God dang, also 1 million Negroes or near 1 million Africans running through here. Before Columbus, now let's get to the sickle cell. Before Columbus, right, the sickle cell gene was present in Brazil, specifically in San Salvador, where Africans from West Africa, mainly the Beijing region, had settled. See the little numbers next to it? This is where you can find the sources, y'all. Mesoamerica, medieval Mexico. You shouldn't have got the ring with me because you didn't have a case. You ain't brought nothing to the table, sir. Medieval Mexico had contact with African traders from Mali, known as the Mandingo traders, who brought their culture and possibly their genetics. How about in the Caribbean, implied by African presence and cultural exchange in the region? Although genetic evidence before Columbus isn't specific in my sources, these findings suggest pre-Columbian African presence and genetic exchange in the Americas. Let's keep going, man. You see, he didn't do nothing. 3 rounds of nothingness. You see all the ad hoc judges? Make sure y'all take note of that. Now, see, now I did my correction found. Yes, I found credible sources suggesting sickle cell gene present in America before the transatlantic slave trade. With my search engine, I'm going to ask that. I'm going to ask them the cross-reference. I'm going to ask them the vector sources. A 2018 study, pre-Columbian presence of sickle cell gene in South America, published in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology. See the little number next to it, sir? Right there. All right. Found sickle cell gene in a 1,000-year-old Brazil skeleton remains. When are he going to show his side of the story, y'all? What source has he brought to the table to defend Christopher Columbus coming here before anybody judges? Now, the 2000 research, ancient DNA reveals African presence in pre-Columbian Mexico, published in Cell Reports. Discovered sickle cell genes in a 13,000-year-old Mexican genetic samples. 2017 study, sickle cell trace in pre-Columbian Ecuadorian monkeys, published in PLOS. PLS, that's where you can find it, sir. Huh? Let's keep going. Let's continue. Let's continue, sir. What have you brought to the table? Nothing. Look at this, y'all. 2020 paper, pre-transatlantic slave trade presence of sickle cell in America, published in Nature Communications. Confirmed sickle cell gene present in pre-Columbian American population via ancient DNA analysis. These sources suggest that sickle cell gene present in America before transatlantic. Somebody meet their mic, please. A slave trade would be in America before the transatlantic slave trade. And then my chat or asking me questions. Would you like to dive deeper more to these findings? You don't use this type of chat that I got going. You see? You using a chat GPT that ain't even designed for academic research and studies. Now look at this. Yes, look what my chat engine said. Suggests that sickle cell gene was present in America before transatlantic slave trade. Here we go. We got the ancient Brazil skeleton, 750 to 1250 AD.
I mean, just beating this dude and beating him. Damn.
Markers found in bones, excavations, 2011. Pre-Columbian Mexican codices, 900 to 1521 AD. Already beat your time. We here. We've been here. He ain't showed no trail or nothing. Just running his mouth. And sit here and did all them ad hocs. You can do that. That's not gonna help you with this information.
10 minutes, JJ. 10 minutes.
10 minutes or more. This educational butt whooping that he's gonna continue to get. Symbols depicting sickle cell-shaped cells in ancient medical texts. Genetic analysis of ancient Peruvian mummies. Look at the year, y'all. 550 to 1450 AD. Sickle cell trait detected in DNA samples from 2018 study. African pre-Columbian symmetric links in South America. 500 to 1500 AD. Suggests African present and potential sickle cell genes introduction. We've been here. Native American. He want to try to. Christopher Columbus said on the ocean blue. You was talking to the kindergarten. You grown now. You shouldn't be believing in fairy tales. Is that what you told the Christians and the Israelites? That is your turn to get a taste of your own medicine. Look at this, y'all. Native American genetic studies, African DNA admixture in some Native Americans. But he got up here and said there's no conclusive evidence of any admixture of Africans before 1492. Now you got to deal with that. You got to show us the facts. I heard what you said. Hope the judges is listening too, because he ain't gonna be able to show nothing. Let's keep going. Keep going. Now, verifying the sources with extreme scrutiny, verification results ran these sources through multiple verification checks, cross-check with academic databases, PubMed, Google Scholar, JSTOR, Science Direct, verified the fact-checking website, Snopes, factcheck.org. Yes, sir. So I ain't trying to hear you cry about that. Check publication credentials, publisher replication, peer review process, author credentials. Yes, let's keep going. Results for each source. Now, I'm going to give you results for each source. American Journal of Physical Anthropology 2018, authentic, verified through PubMed and journal website. Y'all see that? Here's the little numbers for you. Article title, Pre-Columbian present sickle cell gene in South America. Here go dot number, DOI 10.1002/a JPA 23744. Take a picture and go look it up. You ain't been showed us nothing but your mouth, your coon lip. That's what you wanted to. God dang it. These goddamn islanders come over here trying to tell us our history. Because they've been brainwashed by them Europeans over there still wearing white wigs. Let's keep it going, man. Authentic, verified through Science Direct and journal website. Article title: Ancient DNA reveals African presence pre-Columbian Mexico. There go the numbers again. Let's keep going. You ain't showing nothing on the screen. Here goes some more. Here goes some more. There you go. I don't want to hear nothing about JJ and check nothing. That's out the window now. That's out the window, sir. That's out the window. Here you go. Detailed breakdown of sickle cell gene present before Columbus in Brazil. Time frame around 1,000 to 50. These are checked sources, sir. You in some trouble. Just like you can't defeat dental morphology. If I had time to get in that, you definitely can't defeat the sickle cell gene. You know, Europeans bring it over here. Huh? Time frame around 1,000 to 1,500 CE. Location, Salvador, Baja region. Y'all notice I had brung different sources. He hadn't brung any. He just want to try to keep debunking something, bringing up sources that I didn't even bring in this round. Y'all notice that? Judges, pay attention. African origin, African specifically. They have been in region present day Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. This is the sickle cell gene. Mali Empire traders and migrants. Genetic evidence. Here are more of the source. 2018 study published in American Journal of Physical Anthropology. Sickle cell gene found thousands of years before Brazil's skeleton remains. 1,000-year-old Brazil skeleton remains, sir. It's not that hard to get to Brazil from Africa. Stop it. Mesoamerica, Mexico, time frame. Here go the sickle cell, still floating around, sir. Around 1,200 to 1,500 Mexico. Valley of Mexico, present-day Mexico City, states of Veracruz, and Tabasco. African origin, West African traders from where? The Mali Empire. Dingo people, genetic evidence. Look at the study. Wait, what is he talking about? We can't even say that you brought unverified sources because you haven't brought any. You haven't even stated a case. You haven't proved to us anything. When are you gonna show us the day Christopher Columbus left and his map and his people and how his gene has been here forever, making a mark? When I'm showing you that the gene came late, then I'm showing you our stuff. He hasn't done that in this debate. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's trust me. We're gonna review this. Look at this. Hispaniola has present-day Haiti and Dominican Republic. Let's keep going. Jamaica, African origin. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Here you go. Summary and findings. Sickle cell gene presence confirmed.
5 minutes, JJ. 5 minutes.
I got you. African specifically, Brazil, made code 1,300 years, predates transatlantic slave trade. Evidence suggests sickle cell gene arrived in the Americas before 1492. African origin and migration implicates African migration to Americas, the Atlantic before Columbus. And like I say, they also had a trans-Pacific migration route or trans-Pacific route that they use as well to do trading. See? Authentic verified sources through academic database, fact check websites, publication, credentials, and expert consultation. Let's keep going, man. When he go? Where's your methods at, bro? I mean, you ain't showing us nothing. You know, man, damn. What the hell going on? Now, implicates rewrites history, challenges the traditional narrative, validates oral tradition, confirms some African diaspora communities' oral histories and pre-Columbian presence in America. But there isn't a lot of oral tradition that these Eurocentrists like Cedric are trying to to say it ain't real. Look at this. That's more on sickle cell. My time is running out. Let me get a look at. Look at this. What evidence supports the presence of Africans in Brazil before the 1500s? Here go my answer. Archaeological findings, genetic research, and historical accounts from European explorers confirm African presence in Brazil before 1500. How about this? Here go questions from their side. How did African traders and migrants from Mali Empire interact with indigenous Mexicans before Columbus? They established trade routes, sir. They shared cultural practices and possibly intermarried, leaving genetic and cultural legacies. Is he going to tell us about this Christopher Columbus character? What are the records of African presence in Caribbean islands prior to European colonization? Where are their records? Yes, implied through archaeological findings, genetic research, and accounts for indigenous people in the early European settlers. Let's keep going. This dude got into a fight he can't win. What role did transatlantic trade routes play in African migration to Americas before 1492? They facilitated African travel across the Atlantic via Canary Islands, the Caribbean, enabling pre-Columbian migration. You see that, y'all? You see how I'm showing y'all how this shit happened? Excuse me for cussing. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Huh? Okay, hold on. Let's keep going. Run out of time. Look, these are questions that Cedric. Look, how does ancient DNA analysis reveal African presence in pre-Columbian Mexico? Ancient DNA studies detect African genetic signals in Mexican samples dating back 1300 CE, confirming pre-Columbian contact. Look at this. What percentage of modern Brazilians? We don't even need to do that. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Look at this. Can genetic research trace specific African genetic groups to pre-Columbian American population? Remember, he said that they couldn't do that. Yes, studies link Brazilian population to Yoruba, Nigerian ancestry, and Mexican population to the Mali and Gambian ancestry. But he wants to steal that away. How do sickle cell gene distribution correlate with African migration patterns in America? Sickle cell gene present mirrors. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, man. I know we're running out. Look at this. Weapons found in America before 1492. The Kubala Akili. I already went over that. You know, I still got more. Look at this. Look at that. Shows out weapons, daggers, African style throwing axes. He ain't debunked none of this. Look at this. Cross-reference sources. We did that. You know what I'm saying? Here go the methodology used. You know, careful digging and removal of soil. This is what we did in the geochemical analysis of pre-Columbian weapons, African origins confirmed. Here go, look. Did the minerals found in the pre-Columbian weapons in America originate in Africa? Yes, geochemical analysis will reveal African mineral signatures. I don't know what he's talking about. Gold tip spears and none of that. He ain't done none of the studies. He ain't even presented up here the studies to debunk these studies. Here goes here, cross-reference sources. Check twice. Journal articles. Geochemistry and African copper deposits. Now, look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. When is he going to bring something? He didn't through the whole goddamn debate. You hear me? Through the whole debate. Let me take it off there for a minute. Let's stop sharing for a minute. Let me get the last second word.
You got 20 seconds, bro.
Hold up. Okay, hold up. Let me get back on point with y'all. Like I said, man, y'all see who brung what in this debate. Y'all see who wasn't crying and complaining. Y'all see who defended their side, but also attacked their side. He has no offense. None at all. To make you think, to maybe make you think that Christopher Columbus did the American trying to
that is time. That is time. And now, family, we are at the most exciting part of the show. This is what I call the chin check session. Each one of these men will have 10 full minutes to get as many questions to their opponent as they can. If their opponent stalls, they can simply say, next question. They can stop their time up to 3 times, but that is it. After 3 times, the 10-minute will continue to run. If their opponent continues to try to stall or gets stagnant, myself or Wendy can step in and stop the stagnation. But it is up to the person asking the questions to a particular question. They have the option to move on, to stop their time, to ask us to get involved, etc. But it's they 10 minutes to do with what they will. What we gotta do, hashtag get ranked. The Versus series is live in 2025. We're gonna show you our top 6. We moving the top to the top 8 starting in April. I suspect one of these debaters gonna be up in here. Go ahead, Ratchet.
No, I'm just saying it.
You went out, bro. You there, Ratchet?
All right, he gonna come back. He gonna come back. Everybody hit the like, share, and subscribe, man. Everybody hit the like, share, and subscribe, man. Powerful bills only. Just
What it was.
If you're tired of your opponents whining like babies, if you're tired of people putting down your demonstration, trying to minimize your platform, 1 minute your platform too small, the next minute they over here, come to the Versus series, Paradigm Shift TV 314, hashtag get ranked.
Hashtag get right, nigga. Get right. All you niggas. You got yourself to debate to get right.
Super wavy. Super wavy.
Before Super wavy, I promise you, let's see Super wavy. I just want to get some politics
Ratchet,
together.
you is an interrupting Negro tonight, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I just want to say, based on Cedric went first in this the debate round. Yeah. You going first, right? JJ said it down. You going first.
We're keeping it the same order. We said that at the beginning.
No.
Now go ahead.
No, you can't have it totally your way. You been, bruh. Y'all gotta stop this shit. What y'all doing right now?
Ratchet.
You go first in the question and answer.
Ratchet. Let me rock.
Yeah,
Check it out.
I'm gonna let you rock. My fault. Yeah. Forgive me if I haven't seen you, DLG. I have seen you. Forgive me.
Yeah, check it out. The person who go first in the round session go last in the Q&A, but you still gonna close out last.
Okay.
So
I got him on the hot seat for 10 minutes. Okay, bet.
10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Let me
Time start when you start asking questions.
Let me get my questions lined up on the screen. Hold up.
All right. Time will start when you start asking. I'm gonna put the time up on the screen as well.
No, I want to try to stop.
Hey man, what is this?
Hello. Okay, my fault.
Bro, you come on. It's two hosts.
Ratchet, what's going on? What you got for us, man? What you got?
I just wanted Super Wavy because I cut out Super Wavy. I just wanted him to get his analogy on the debate so far.
Actually, I was gonna tell Super Wavy. This Super Wavy is about to host because I got to step away. But Ratchet, we got it from here, brother. We got it.
Yeah.
I'm about to leave out. This is my quick lead, y'all.
All right, peace out. We're gonna see you on the after show.
All right. Okay. My first question,
right.
Cedric. Yeah, I'm ready.
You got a Super Wavy?
I got you.
All right, peace to y'all.
All right, you got the clock. You got the clock up. All right, Cedric. What's the name of Columbus Diary?
Diario de a bordo.
Can you prove that that's authentic?
Yes, it is in the museum. It is in the Archivio de las Indias in India. It is in the Indias in Seville, Spain. There's a fragment and remnants of it, but it was transcribed prior to it being destroyed. There's literal fragments of it. Not to mention the fact.
Okay, that's enough. This is
what we call primary.
No, that's enough. G said that's enough. Are there any inconsistencies in the Columbus Diary?
What inconsistencies are you talking about? The fact that the diary
you don't ask questions.
The diary exists already established in the Americas. So there might be inconsistencies, but you would have to elaborate.
Hold on, Uncle Sted. Hold on, Uncle Sted.
Hold on, man. What are we doing?
Let him clarify. Go ahead, Uncle JJ.
Yeah, man. Now, there are inconsistencies in the Columbus Diary, but you said they're not, so I'm gonna prove that wrong. What is the letter? What is the letter of the Sovereigns?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The letter of the Sovereigns is a document written by Columbus. Supposedly it was 1493, but we also know that is not real. So
Columbus didn't write the document. Yes, you're claiming.
Where can we find this document?
What are you claiming?
Where can we find this document?
You're making the claim about the document. You don't know, but if you claim that Columbus write the document, you're providing us with yet more substantiation.
Where can we find the document? Hey, Wavy, this ain't how you buy it. You tell them to be quiet during the time. You don't ask me questions, Cedric. Now, as you can see, what is the Toscanelli map? What's that, sir?
I don't know, JJ.
Okay, with this map, it's allegedly sent to Columbus by the Italian cartographer Poco Toscanelli, who supposedly showed him this route. See, so if you can't even prove none of this, I'm gonna keep it with questions. Can you prove Columbus' route to America?
Can I prove it? It's documented.
Okay, next question. All right. What is the Capitulations of Santa Fe?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, the Capitulations of Santa Fe is a document that outlines the agreement between Columbus and the Spanish monarchs. You're supposed to be, listen, be quiet. You're supposed to be providing evidence, but it's not authentic. Bro,
you're for the evidence.
Yeah, Uncle saying, relax.
Hey, John, just pay attention to this. Pay attention to this, how I act during my time when it's time for me to answer. All right? Now, so he don't even know what so look at this. Okay. All right, hold up. You want more Columbus questions? Okay. Is there any evidence that there is a Columbus map? Is it authentic?
I wouldn't know why there would need to be a Columbus map.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir. There's no conclusive evidence of this Columbus map, but we'll keep going. Why is Columbus buried in 3 different places?
That would you assume. I would never think someone is buried in 3 different places.
Okay, well,
I would have no idea why you would claim that.
Okay, so now I'm claiming it. No. Okay, so now I got to educate the audience. The Cathedral of Seville has them in Spain. They got them over in Havana in Cuba, and they got them in San Domingo, in the San Domingo Cathedral in Dominican Republic. So let me ask you this. Did they split his body up in 3?
Again, you're making a claim.
Okay.
I wouldn't make no suggestions. So I don't know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Did you prove that there was conclusive evidence that Christopher Columbus came to the Americas before Africans in this debate?
I think you did. We established, first of all, what a primary source is, which is Columbus's diary, which you made reference to yourself. I indicated where it is. It was transcribed. We have evidence from people on the ship, the medical doctor, Albert, who documented the expedition. This is firsthand. You referenced just now the documents.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's good enough. That's good enough.
And Columbus. These are firsthand accounts.
Hey, super wavy, bro.
Being an actual
bro, that's good enough. All right. So where is this authentic document located, Cedric?
Which one of the documents?
Give me a location.
Which one of the documents?
Okay. Let's skip that one. He said they're authentic. Okay. All right. Did you in this debate prove that the Columbus haplogroup was here before 1492?
This question is indicative of your utter ignorance.
Okay, that's enough. If you're going to answer this, are you going to answer it? Yes or no?
I'm answering your question. So
okay, that was it. Okay.
There would be no way you ask me the question, allow me to answer it.
Bro, that's it. Hey, judges, look how he's acting during the question and answer round. He's doing ad hoc. Now, how about, did Europeans have a concept of ocean depths before Africans? Yes or no?
What was the question again?
Did Europeans have a better concept of ocean depth before Africans?
Of ocean depth or depth?
Depths.
The question is irrelevant, even if the
Africans... All right, thank you. Did they? All right. So did they have thorough knowledge of ocean currents and patterns, Europeans?
Prior to them being able to get around the horn, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that. No. All right, let's keep going. All right. Which haplogroup is older, the EM2 or the RB1? The African haplogroup in America or the European? Which one was here first?
The African haplogroup and the European haplogroups all are post 1501. That is coincide with the commencement of the African slave trade. So,
whoa. So, are you saying in front of the audience that the African haplogroup and the Christopher Columbus haplogroup came here at the same time? No, that's not what this is about. So, I'm asking you, which one came here first?
Do I need to repeat my answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first African presence in the Americas is noted at 1501, an individual named Juan Querido. He was with the Spanish as part of their expedition. That is the first known African in the Americas.
Sir, I asked you. No, listen. I'm gonna ask you again. Which came here first? I'm representing the EM2. What happened? Here's my question. What haplogroup are you representing for Christopher Columbus? Which one for this debate?
I have no idea what that question
is. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, which story is more valid? How about this? Which story is more valid? The Christopher Columbus voyage, or the story that tell that Mansa Musa told about Abakari II? Which one would be more valid to you?
The one that has the evidence, because there's no.
Okay, all right, thank you. What evidence have you brought?
We have already.
Okay, hold on, bro. Okay, you listen, bro. What? Hey, bro, get him. What evidence have you brought to prove that Christopher Columbus came to the Americas? Where is the ships? Can you tell me where the ships are located?
There is no need for us to replicate.
Yes or no? Can you tell me where the ships are?
Yes.
Where?
So a ship of that age.
No, where's go ahead.
Primarily from wood would have decayed.
No, where's Christopher Columbus ship? Nina, the Pinta, and the Santorina. Where they at?
Of course, these ships.
No ship, no goddamn voyage.
These ships were destroyed in the voyage.
Tell me where they were destroyed at. Where? What location?
What location? In the ocean. In the ocean. That's where ships are destroyed.
Okay, so you can't tell me where?
In the ocean, I just did.
Where in the ocean?
In the ocean, the Caribbean.
Next to Elvis and SpongeBob? Where in the ocean?
In the Caribbean Sea.
What? Where?
In the Caribbean Sea.
Okay, where? Okay, so in the Caribbean Sea, ladies and gentlemen, can you disprove that the anchors they found over in America, in Brazil, these anchors that belong to the Mali Empire, can you prove that they were not connected to the Mali Empire? But what methodology would you use?
First, you would have to point me to a location where we can.
Okay, that's fine. Hold on, I got one more before my.
We have a museum, a
particular location. Right. Now, give us a location. Hold on. Now, give us a location of the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Give us one. Where? Where they capsize at? Go.
If you expect wooden ships to exist after 500 years, that's an indication of your ignorance.
You have. So, can you tell us once again? Did you prove that Europeans, Columbus haplogroup came to the Americas before an Afro haplogroup? Go ahead.
Again, that is a very ignorant question to assume that a haplogroup that came with a particular individual you would find prior to that existence.
All right, Tom. All right, Uncle DMT, you there? All right.
I'm here.
All right, Uncle Sid, we're gonna start when you're ready.
Okay, JJ. I'm going to start with your last question. How would you expect to find European genetics before Columbus came to the Americas? Prior to Columbus coming to the Americas, there was no new and old world contact. So how would you expect for there to be a shred of evidence for something that would not exist?
Okay, thank you. All right. So, am I still on? Can you hear me? Let's see. Can you still hear me? Listen.
We hear you.
I want to turn my camera on. Hold up. All right. So, how we find out dates and times is called geochemical analysis, radiocarbon dating.
Stop. You're not answering the question.
He don't want me to get into it, y'all.
So I'm going to reiterate my question.
Reiterate, sir.
European genetics arrive in the Americas at the point that Europeans arrived. You are asking us to present Europeans prior to Europeans you're asking us to present European genetics prior to the European genetics being in the Americas. How is that even a relevant question?
Okay, so the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, okay, let me rephrase it right. The narrative is did Europeans come to the Americas, or Columbus come to the Americas?
Well, again, okay, thank you. That means stop. It's my time to ask the question. We're not answering the question. So what I just illustrated is the ignorance in even asking that question, because you wouldn't be able to have European genetics prior to Columbus, because it's pre and post Columbus. Now, JJ, can you point us or indicate to us in which museum we can find artifacts like the anchor you're speaking about?
Okay. No, I haven't researched the anchors, but I have researched
like they do have in the museum. I didn't look that up as part of my debate.
Stop. So you made stop. Okay, thank you very much. So you made a claim about anchors, and you actually have no evidence for where these anchors located, which I indicated during my debate that these are fabricated sources.
Did you ask the question, sir, or you just keep talking?
Shush, it's my time, so I'm doing what I want with my time.
No, you got to ask questions.
JJ, don't interrupt him. It's his time.
So we've established that there's no credible evidence for that either. You made a claim about yams, about food. Now, we've totally dismantled that claim. How do you stand behind the claim of yams when we know by genetic evidence that which yams are indigenous to the Americas and when West African yams were brought to the Americas? We have scientific evidence for that fact. So how do you continuously make that claim?
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this debate, I mentioned food, coins, textiles. I never, if you go back and retry, I never specifically in this debate said anything about yams. Once again, he's debating things that I haven't mentioned.
In his opening slides, you can clearly see the food source he was referencing was yams. You realize that he has no evidence for the yams. Now he's running away from that claim, which was actually presented. Now, JJ, you're making claims of African clothing and material in the Americas, yet you present us with no evidence for how this transoceanic voyage could have been made. Present us with some actual evidence, archaeological evidence, and a source where we can find the means by which this transatlantic slave voyage was made.
Okay. All right, we're going to do, okay, so can I share my screen, or are you just going to cut me up before I share my screen?
No, you don't need to share your screen.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to answer the best I can. I see what he's doing. He don't want me to talk. So I can't even share my screen to answer his question, right? But through the Canary Currents, there's possibilities of them following
Stop. I didn't ask you for a possibility. I asked you for archaeological evidence of the means by which this transoceanic voyage could have been made. So then yet again, you start on some non sequitur which doesn't support your arguments. You made the claim and doubled down after I demonstrated by peer-reviewed sources how Ivan van Sertima was debunked. He himself made it clear that his whole work was based on speculation. Why would you lie to the people still and tell them that his work has never been debunked or refuted?
You gotta unmute your mic, Uncle JJ. You gotta unmute your mic. Uncle JJ, we can't hear you. You gotta unmute your mic.
JJ, unmute your mic.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so now I can pull up my phone and show you Ivan van Sertima, Renuka Rashidi have been challenged.
Stop. Okay, good. You're wasting the people's time. Stop. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do not need you to insist on lying. Everybody saw clearly, right, that he has been refuted and debunked by peer-reviewed academic work and by multiple sources. It was clear on the screen for everyone to see, where you admitted you do not care what I say. So do not make that regurgent claim. That is completely dishonest. You're intellectually dishonest. Now, you present your work in such a ridiculous fashion by presenting these sources, Bartoli, as if his work has been confirmed. Do you, can you provide us with a peer review source for his work?
Yes, I can provide that, but
not
how do you ask me to provide it and you come?
Stop, because I know you're lying. We just need you on record. You just
come on.
Stop. We just We just needed you on record having committed a lie, because what you presented was the claims he made, and in your own presentation, it stated clearly that his methodology is flawed and his work is not peer reviewed. In my opening, I addressed the fact that you are disqualified from doing such. Why did you insist on still bringing a claim that is unsupported by peer review work? Why would you be disingenuous in this debate? That's my question to you.
You gotta unmute your mic, Uncle JJ.
I got this. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you can see, for me to be disingenuous in this debate, that means I would have to be off topic. I addressed my situation as far as proving African DNA has been over. He has not proved anything about Christopher Columbus. All those questions I asked about Christopher Columbus, you should have been knowing these.
Okay, stop. Okay, thank you very much.
The lack of intelligence to process the information.
Thank you very much. Do you know what genetic noise is? Can you explain to the audience what genetic noise is?
No, I don't know that right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so you make claims of EM2 genetics in the Americas, and you actually put the percentages up there, which are between 0 to 2%. Do you understand what genetic noise is, and how shared genetic ancestry can contribute to those minimal numbers in a genetic profile? The misuse of that data proves your disingenuousness when you did not even know what noise means. So go ahead, answer the question.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these numbers that I put up were markers and indicators.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Of genetic information.
I do not need you to speak any further. Again, you even don't know what you're presenting to the people. This is the disingenuousness I'm talking about, because you present numbers and you do not even know what genetic noise represents. And now that you've been caught out there naked, you're laughing, hey. But again, this is a testament to your disingenuousness. Right now, my final question to you: why would you sit up here and lie to the people, presenting sources that are not vetted, don't exist, or either incredibly false? Why would you insist on presenting commentary like sickle cells when in my first round I proved that the work by Dr. Clyde Winters is not accepted widely because the same genes does not prove shared haplogroups, and we know that environmental pressures can produce the same genetic outcome. Why would you lie to the people and tell them that that was not already disproved? Go ahead.
Okay. Now, when you say I lied, that's speculative. You haven't proved anything in this debate. You already said it. You can't even believe him. He said this is his last question, so now I get to run out this 30 seconds. As y'all see, ladies and gentlemen, in this question and answer round, who reigns supreme, who's superior, who addressed good questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I told you, you said you would be quiet.
Thank you. Stop, be quiet. So you notice that he couldn't even answer this simple question honestly. In my opening round, I addressed you can't use the word from Dr. Clyde Winters. He tries to sneak it in at the end of the debate. This completely disingenuous.
Now, and that is the
get into like the opening.
Down on their lives or retreat. Witness here is not a clash of apologists have down on their lies or retreat to victimhood.
Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus talks to my people. I ain't got time. Right. All he did was mimic and read through the whole goddamn debate.
All right, I'm starting your time.
Yeah, start my time. Ladies and gentlemen, man, what y'all seen in this debate was a massacre. A beatdown. The brother didn't prove or even make a case for Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus rolled over in the pseudo, but one of them 3 graves they got him buried in. You ain't even addressed the scientific aspect of this because there's 2 stories. The Mali story and the European story. So you don't believe mine, I don't believe yours. So knock those 2 stories out. Now you got to start giving us tools, weapons, maps, clothing, textiles, because you cannot prove that this European and his marker came here first. So you out of your league. You lost miserably up here trying to defend a goddamn pseudoscientific racist myth that perpetuated colonialism and slavery. He's still stuck back there. This is the same guy who said we ate chips and monkeys. This is the organization that he come from, tearing down Black scholars. And if y'all notice, y'all can't name. And then look, he brought up Sure and all these other people that I didn't even bring up. That is called a straw man argument, sir. We can't see 3 sources that Cedric provided to this audience to prove his case. Not one. This guy, like I said, he has outdated information. You didn't debunk my scholar. You didn't debunk any of the information about all those weapons I mentioned. You didn't do none of that. We still waiting for you to give us some information on Christopher Columbus. Y'all seen what I did through this whole debate. Remember, judges, he was using straw man arguments in his very first round. You cannot make arguments for me before I even go. That ain't what I brought to this debate, but that's what you were preparing for because I left you out there. I threw the bait out there for you to talk about something else that I wasn't even going to be talking about. You didn't debunk dental morphology. You didn't debunk the sickle cell. You didn't debunk the EM2. You didn't show us that this European haplogroup got here first. You didn't show us no European artifacts. You didn't show us how they could navigate the celestial stars before African or shipbuilding or none of that. You didn't prove the documents. Where are the documents at? Where's the diary? You see how miserably he failed to answer any question that I asked him in the question and answer round. And when I tried to answer the question, he cut me off. He started doing ad homs and calling names. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I want y'all to go back, and this was a long debate. A lot of information was put out there by me, not by him. And I want y'all to go back and reevaluate. Put all the biases aside. I don't like you, you don't like me. That ain't what this is all about. You know, I see a couple of guys in the audience that I beat. You know, yeah, goddamn right you're going to be in there crying. It's okay. You know, but he brought up a lot of, like, he tried to discredit Ivan Sertima. You know, he has not been debunked. You read something. You didn't show the methodology, how they did it. You didn't show the scientific method. You didn't show nothing. You didn't show the scholars that agree with the person. Who was this person? You never even mentioned his goddamn own name. But this is your mission. This is your goal, to tear down Black information, Black scholars. He calls us Afrocentric. So he has separated himself from us because the conscious community is about us being conscious of who we are.
1 minute.
Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, y'all see who brought out the real information. This debate won't just be seen on this channel. I'm going to take it to other channels. We're going to put up polls. We're going to put up judges. We're going to take it to 3 or 4 different platforms to show who really brought out the information and who didn't. Man, like I say, man, this dude did not prove Christopher Columbus came over here. He didn't debunk anything that I brought, man. That being said, I yield my time, man. And a lot of times in the debate, you see 3 minutes he gave up. You don't give up those 3 minutes in no debate. I'm done.
never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Wanna murder me, but never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Black excellence at its finest. Yeah, using big words, but he can't define it. Finna hit him with the cannon, don't you stand behind him. It's about to get hot, watch him change the climate. He's nothing but a novice and he show his heart. Man, I think this rookie's done, sticking with a fork. Yeah, he treading water, swimming with the sharks. You will never see the light, living in the dark. The only thing he study is his information. Till I show him all his flaws in his calculation. Gotta leave his dummy dead as a demonstration. So I hit him with the case with no hesitation. It's a wealth of knowledge you ain't never seen. Chop his body up and weigh the dead on a triple beam. Got his bully on my phone and he keep calling me. Need me to come and pick him up from another murder scene. And he's telling me, I don't know why they keep invading me. I said we just don't keep kicking their ass into reality. Judas 7,000 said they want a war, but they should have already known what they were looking for. Wanna murder me, but never heard of me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar.